WIOD presents Neil Rogers. To get in touch and talk, call 751-WIOD in Dade, 524-WIOD in Broward, or 655-278-WIOD in the Palm Beaches. Other areas may call collect. The opinions expressed by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily those of the station. Now, here's Neil Rogers on News Talk Radio 610 WIOD.
Give my regards to Neil Rogers. Tell him that I've never heard a smuttier program in my life.
Thank you, Sam. Coming from you, that's a high compliment. It's 10:05 at WIOD. Good morning. We're really excited to be here. Fat Rich is in the building, which means there's food here. And we're going to have a heck of a day today. Trust me when I tell you.
Uh-oh.
Well, no, I think we can go back to doing a radio show today, although I do have some additional comments that I want to make about what we've been discussing the last couple of days, but then we'll get back to doing a radio show, which is about time. Anyway, we're really hot at Gulfstream. The bird yesterday gave you in the 6th race, Hot Pillow, which is still running, okay, ran 5th
cold as
in a 7-horse race, and I gave you Plate Queen in the 9th race, came in 5th in an 8-horse race, so not too hot.
No, we're cold. Terrible.
Okay, here's my special pick at Gulfstream today. Go out and plunge your brains out on Green Performer. You thought I was going to pick General Tim, but I shocked you. Green Performer with Dos Ramos in the 8th race, 6-1 in the morning line.
That's got a
the 2-horse.
It's got a shot. I
yeah.
think.
In fact, look at this. Dave Joseph picks it on top.
Yeah.
I'll be damned. I don't hear any.
No, I'm
giving up.
Yeah, today anyway. I'm humiliated and embarrassed and
ought to be.
So. Yeah, and exactly.
Okay, anyway, one of the things we want to do, and we did this yesterday, and Steve did a magnificent job of doing it all afternoon, is have you folks, in light of the virulent hate campaign against Steve and myself in this station, have those of you who enjoy the programming here, if you want to see it continue, write letters and notes to Mike Disney, our general manager. Just send them along to Mike Disney, WIOD, Miami, 33141. And because we have that great fax machine in there, you know, if you're a business person or somebody else that's got a fax machine and wants to send a similar kind of a note rather than waste the postage and take that much time, here's our WIOD number at WIOD, 757-7516. And you can just send your message of support on the fax machine, 757-7516. Boy, there's enough sevens in that number that we could have Larry Kent come in special to give the number on the air, right? 757-7516. Our first call out of town again, a collect from Washington, D.C. Good morning, Mr. President. How you doing?
Good morning, Neil. Good morning, Glenn. How you doing this morning?
Is this the grease man?
No, I have no grease.
Uh-huh.
What I do have is some information that was printed in the Washington Times.
Really? Well, if it's in the Washington Times, you know it must be true. Well, how's Reverend Moon doing, by the way?
Listen, this is good for talk radio, though.
Okay.
The header is, this is for the new news analysis. The header is Furious Public Rallied on Cries from Talk Radio.
Really?
Quoting quickly from the article, the revolutionary...
Oh, this must be about the congressional pay raise.
Yes, it is. Okay, the revolutionary heroes of this rebellion were radio talk show hosts and disc jockeys around the country. It does mention, unfortunately...
Lee Fowler.
Pardon?
Lee Fowler.
No, Sandy Payton.
Oh, wow.
Same
quote,
genre.
Right, it says, W. Snooze, Sandy Payton said she had been a Miami talk show host for 22 years, and of any issue we've discussed, I've never seen so much outrage.
Yeah.
Then it goes into
Sandy, I think it's terrible. These people...
Yeah, it's sugar cookies, but the article basically contrasts...
And I want to tell you something, pal. First, the congressional pay raise. Next, the outrageous prices on the early bird, okay? That's coming next. And if there's anybody who can do it, it's Sandy.
Well, Sandy is tough, boy. It does mention the whole history here, but what it does say is that while the newspaper stirred up little or no controversy about it, quoting right from the article, radio hosts talk to real people. Washington journalists talk to each other.
Right. Well, we're like the folks up at WPBR in Palm Beach. We're here to make a difference, okay?
Well, I know that's not, the way that you do the show down there, but it's just, basically, it's something good about talk radio.
That is correct. Yeah. Well, on occasion, we've been known to make a difference, you know.
That is true. It's
not like Sandy, but...
Well, I'm sorry that it didn't mention you. Okay?
No, that's all right.
No news is
I got enough paper coverage here as it is.
Yeah, I've been hearing
We even made the Hallandale Digest today.
Jeez.
Good, that's great. I'm coming back to Miami today, so I'll be interested in seeing that. My girlfriend was supposed to record some of your show for me while I was up here. I've got to go. I just wanted to leave you with just this one thing. I want to say good morning to Frankie and Sean, your douchebag, and Neil, you're the greatest.
Okay, thanks a lot. Say hi to President Bush League for us, will
Well,
you?
I was going to mention you to him before I leave.
Okay.
So.
Tell him I hope he's feeling better.
He has been under the weather, but then again, with the faulty towers issue.
Yeah, well, tell him we like John a lot, okay?
All right, thank you, Neil.
Thanks a lot.
Good morning.
Great call from Washington, D.C. I got news for you, man. Very few local talk shows anywhere in the country start out with calls from our nation's capital, right? And probably most of them pretty happy about it. Anyway, we made the Hallandale Digest today, which is more about the freedom of speech becomes an issue for Rogers and Kane, Hallandale in the middle of legal battle, and all this stuff we've been talking about the last couple of days. I think the most interesting, and the person who wrote it, Karen Conway, is going to call me because she didn't have a chance to talk to me before writing this. So all of the quotes, of course, come from our dear attorney friend, from Sunny Rosenberg, and from Mr. Intondola, the city manager in Hallandale. Now, his comments, I think, are the most interesting, and I think it proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that this whole Hallandale segment of the witch hunt campaign is a Sunny Rosenberg orchestrated chapter, okay?
Oh.
Mr. Intondola said increased controversy only increases shock radio's ratings. When the city of Hallandale went head-to-head with Rogers about 2 years ago, Rogers had the third-rated show, Intondola said, which is not true. We were number one, but he says, we gave him his number one ratings. The city's crusade against Rogers' show eventually died a natural death because of a lack of support, Intondola said. Even some of those people who say it's nasty think it's funny, and advertisers told us to go for a walk.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
Go walk the dog.
And also our attorney friend said he's contacted station advertisers, which include Gulfstream Park and Hallandale, and described the content of Rogers' show, and they have continued to advertise. Well, no kidding.
No kidding.
Attempts to garner the support of the Broward County school system, B'nai B'rith, and other local religious, ethnic, and youth groups have also failed, he said. Nobody has the guts to do anything about this type of programming, he said. Well, the bottom line is most people have a sense of humor, and they understand it, and even if they don't like it, they just turn it off and don't listen in that case, which most rational people do. And the idea that we're harming anybody with this kind of programming, of course, is just a desperate attempt to create havoc and chaos and problems for me and any station that I work on. You know, first it was WINZ, and then it was Zeta, and now just by coincidence it's WIOD. Just a coincidence. Although I thought you once said there are no coincidences.
How about that? All
right, let me do a little break here, then when we come back I've got a few more comments I want to make about that, and then we'll get into and we may have a big celebrity guest coming by today, hopefully.
This is exciting.
Let me give you a little sneak preview. Okay, that's as much as we'll give you.
That's all that's necessary.
12 minutes after 10, Toyota of... All right, now don't fight over the paper here. Let's just try to relax. We've got a lot of copies of the paper. What is that? Who is that?
That's Elle McPherson in Sports Illustrated, which I've been looking for a copy of this around here, but the sports department gets that magazine for some weird reason, you know?
Oh, I get it. I subscribe to SI.
Do you?
And I got one of those great little phones, you know, the ones that don't work. Now, and I also have that tape. Greatest bloopers,
the greatest
in
bloopers.
Volume 2, which is really not all that great.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting back to some of the information that we're passing along, since this is now a public news story, and since the published news stories mention that these harassment campaigns have been going on for the last 19 months, obviously the chronology of same is a legitimate news story that we can discuss. When we were at Zeta, there was a period of time when, with great regularity, we'd be getting either phone calls or messages or something would pop up in the newspaper. Remember the one Greg Budell was going to sue me? You remember that?
Oh, vividly.
And we kept wondering, what the hell is this all about? There was even a thing with Bill Tanner, who called us yesterday on the air, as a good friend of ours. His attorney calling the radio station and threatening this and that. And the bottom line comes to find out that this same attorney individual had been making phone calls or writing letters to these individuals. In fact, Greg and I discussed this when I had that phone call with him about a month ago or 2 months. And, you know, taking things out of context and twisting and manipulating and sue him, you know, and urging people again, soliciting business and urging people to sue me. And, you know, so for those who are regular listeners and go back with this soap opera that's been ongoing for 19 months now, and you wondered what all of that stuff was about, including Denise White, our next-door neighbor here at Channel 7. You'll recall when they did that piece, she and Steve, whatever his name is? Dawson. Gee, how, you know... when they did that piece on morning shows and they defamed me and did that awful stuff, and I made some, you know, jokes about that. Same thing again, received phone calls from the same individual. So those of you who think that this is some kind of an isolated campaign or that, there's some real merit here, all it's been has been a scatter buckshot attempt to contact everybody and anybody possible to make as much problem for Neil Rogers and basically get him off the air. Get me fired, get me out of the market, destroy my career, my life, harass my friends like Fat Rich, who's sitting here, who's got a whole series of things that have been sent to him, plastered on his car, phone calls at 7 o'clock in the morning, etc. And it's been one of the ugliest and nastiest harassment campaigns. Steve had a guy call in yesterday, whose name and number we've got, by the way, who is a sponsor on this station, who related the kind of harassment that he's had from this individual.
Really?
And even when he was advertising not on this show but on the rest of the station, that wasn't okay, according to this individual. If he didn't stop advertising, he was going to let everybody know what he was doing, and this and that. And again, this goes so far beyond the bounds of any individual's free speech to interfere with other people's business that it really is just shocking, I think is the word that somebody we know might say. Shocking.
That's really...
Yeah.
That's
and I heard,
amazing.
Steve had a lot of great calls yesterday. He also had some of the blue hairs calling again and, taking issue with what I say. Well, that's fine. If you don't like what I say, you don't have to listen to the show. Nobody out there is going to be injured or harmed because of this program. You can go to the bank on that, all right? And, if you're thin-skinned. And the fact is that every one of these people who called in listened to the show. Even though they denied it in many cases, they were quoting chapter and verse. Roger's got a note on here. He said he talked to one of Mike's sponsors this morning that was harassed during this as well. One of Ranieri's sponsors. How do you like that?
Nobody.
And Mike is about as non-controversial and one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to know, and certainly not involved in any of this other business that allegedly is going on. And even his sponsors have been harassed by this individual.
Tell you?
So I think you folks out there, it's about time that you knew just how widespread and how disgusting this thing was. And again, we really hope that you'll take the time, because we know that we're reaching, Steve said tens of thousands, it's hundreds of thousands of people every week on these programs. And, all of us here at WIOD have got a vested interest, including the station management, in seeing that we are protected and that we have a lot of support from you folks out there who enjoy what we do. If you don't enjoy it, good luck to you. As we said yesterday, lots of other places you can go. Go listen to Sandy. She's even made it in Washington now, in the Washington Times, so she's probably doing one hell of a job over there at WOLD. So you have plenty of alternatives, okay? But those of you who do enjoy it, drop us a letter. Mike Disney, WIOD, Miami, 33141. Or if you have a fax machine, you can send it along, a note, letter, whatever you want, on the fax machine, 757-7516. Okay? Also want to mention, if you're looking for those great new Unbelievable Neil Rogers bumper stickers, you can get them this Sunday at Tradewinds Park in Coconut Creek, a classic and antique car show to benefit the Broward Humane Society. Look for the WIOD Roving Radio and Sharon, who will be handing out the stickers and other goodies, and Meg Green will even be there. That's a little bonus.
Heavens.
She'll be there from 10 to 1. This Sunday, 9 to 5, Sample Road on the Florida Turnpike for the Tradewinds Park thing, the classic and antique car show. Okay?
Yeah. First annual.
Mm-hmm. All right, I guess that gets us caught up. We'll do another little piece of business. Then we'll take some calls from our good friends out there in Radio Land. We have so many of them, obviously. Don't we?
Yeah.
Little note from Joe at Taft Street, who's doing just great. Little thing here from Gulfstream Park. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, you see, one thing I'd like to explain is people don't advertise on these radio programs or any other ones just because they like us. They advertise because they get tremendous results. That's what advertising is all about. Even if you disagree, see, when I used to do topical talk and had a lot of very strong opinions about organized religion and lots of other topics, the one thing that was consistent is that even people who disagreed with my philosophy found that they got tremendous results because you're not selling your philosophy. You're selling the fact that you're reaching a tremendous number of people. You've got great credibility, and people will patronize your sponsors, and they do. So for our attorney friend who just can't understand how they continue to advertise in spite of his harassment campaign and bombardment of hate against these shows, the fact of the matter is that these people know they're getting bang for the buck, okay? They're getting response.
That's all they care about.
And that's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. Okay, 751 WIOD in Dade, 524 WIOD in Broward, 278-9463 in Boca. And, I got a kick out of the one caller called in yesterday that said I had defamed Boca even as of yesterday, which I did. Mm-hmm. And I'll say it again. You watch how long it takes that Boca line to light up, man. They're like the Walking Dead in Boca. And in Palm Beach, which is a stage beyond that, 655 WIOD. Now, Valentine's Day is coming.
WIOD.
1025 at Happiness Radio.
This is the real Barbara Tappertman.
And our only open line is in Palm Beach. 655 WIOD. We'd love so much for somebody to call on the Palm Beach line, especially, preferably, somebody who doesn't live in Palm Beach.
Oh,
okay?
Of course.
So you can call us collect if you're calling from any place else and can't get through on the board, if you're that desperate, on the Palm Beach line. 655 WIOD. We'll start in Miami this morning. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
How are you?
Just great.
Listen, I've been trying to call you for a couple of days regarding this silly guy. Remember when you had an appearance when you was with Zeta and you was at the Southgate Shopping Center?
Oh, I sure do, and he showed up, yeah,
Right.
for harassment purposes, yeah.
Right. My husband and I brought you a tape of the Dade County Commission meeting.
Oh, yeah, and I still have it, and I appreciated that very much.
Okay.
I still have that.
Now, that tape is only part of the meeting. We saw a repeat of that same meeting later, and we taped the first part of it. And they more or less told the guy he's nuts.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, this is the amazing part of it. He continues just going around contacting anybody and everybody. And, of course, the reason he made the contact with Sunny Rosenberg in Hallandale was because he realized, here's a guy who already hates my guts and has a personal axe to grind, so he's going to find a sympathetic ear. But the thing that frustrates him is that whether it's advertisers, whether it's the people at the University of Miami, whether it's the Metro Commission, I mean, you know, the guy has shown his true colors. He's shown what this is all about. And his credibility on a scale of 0 is minus infinity.
Right. And, you know, I've been thinking there's something that keeps sticking in the back of my mind. You know, Jim and Tammy Baker and Swaggart, how they were damning everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they were doing the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to make any accusations
Well,
because I don't know anything about the man's personal life, nor do I care because that's his business. But I will say on a general level, and I've said this before, people who protest to such a hysterical degree very often have got something that
there's something.
yeah,
that they're
something
hiding.
there. Yeah.
You know, it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
But if you would like that tape, the complete.
Oh, I'd love it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll get my husband to make you a copy.
Excellent.
Thanks, Nick.
Appreciate it very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
1028 at WIOD, an open line in Dade, 751-9463. Did we ever get the videotape? Does anybody know of the Hallandale Commission
I
meeting?
haven't heard anything about that.
They were going to bring it by yesterday. I guess Nick would probably know. Here's a mobile in Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil. Good morning. This is Lee. I'm on a mobile.
Lee!
I'm on the Sawgrass right now.
This is Lee in Palm Beach.
No, I'm not in Palm Beach. I'm on the Sawgrass right now, but you said you wanted somebody on the Palm Beach line that didn't live in Palm Beach.
Right.
I don't. But,
By the way, can I say something in the wake of that?
go ahead.
Congratulations.
Hey, listen, I've been listening to your show the last couple of days, and this thing with Hallandale is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I tell you.
They never learn their lesson, do they?
It's incredible. I just can't believe that people react like this. I enjoy your show, and the days that I don't, you know, I listen to it anyway. I enjoy what you do. It's just strictly entertainment, and that's all there is to it. And these people, if they just want to find excuses to complain about anything and everything.
Well, let me put it this way, in a general level. Anybody who would take the satirical or comedy things that we say on this show, they're obviously meant as comedy, and try to twist them and manipulate them and make them intended to be serious, has got to, anyone who would do that would have to have sinister motives for doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, really. It's incredible. But you guys just keep doing what you're doing, and Bird, you keep cackling back there, and hang in there, eat your food. I get hungry every time I listen to you guys, and just keep going.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See, that Palm Beach line is very useful, not for Palm Beach, but for other people who can't get through on the Dade and Broward lines, man. It is a bonanza. Even Lauren Green would be impressed, okay?
Where all the out-of-town calls come from, don't they?
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah.
10:30 at WIOD, and let's go to beautiful Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Great.
Look, I want to tell you that we all support you and Steve. It is stupid to think that, only pinheads, listen to you. We are architects in Miami. And, I guess people do not realize the kind of following you have. We are, we are ready to support you and do anything that needs to be done.
Excellent. Well, you write us one of those letters, okay?
You bet. We already discussed that. If we need to stand by you with a 2x4, we'll do that.
Okay, well, I'll keep my eye out for you.
That's right.
Okay.
You take it easy, okay?
Okay.
Hang in there. Nothing going to happen.
We're hanging.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Okay, 10:30 at WIOD. I guess we already said we're hanging, so we don't have to ask anybody ask that question the rest of the show. There's an opening in, look at that, man. They're really, they're moist today out there, aren't they?
Yeah, well.
They're really ready. Plantation, hello.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Buenos dias.
Well, hasta luego. No, anyway, Neil, I have a question. Didn't this individual start this mess way back about, maybe 2 years ago when he was doing harassing phone calls to you at,
Now, not just
it was INZ?
Yeah, it started at INZ in the summer of '87.
Yeah.
And the harassing calls were not only to me, but they were to the switchboard, the newsroom. I mean, just a succession of wild, threatening, screaming, hysterical phone calls, and it's just never stopped. I mean, that was just the beginning of it, and it's never stopped. And again, that all started taking something out of context. I was talking about my trip to Hawaii, and I was trolling, according to him, on the air. What I was doing was looking for a traveling companion. My best friend had just died a short time before, and I was looking to find somebody to go on a trip with me. And I said, probably, it'd be a good idea. First of all, a person would have to be over 18. And secondly, it'd be nice to have somebody who was gay because we'd have common interest, and God only knows what might develop. And immediately he twisted that into something about trolling for sex from boys on the air, which, of course, anybody over the age of 18 is an adult. But don't confuse this person with that, okay?
Well, yeah, I remember him calling you on the air.
Yeah, I remember the call like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I've been listening to you since I came down here, about 5 years now. And I'll tell you this, I sent my letter this morning to Mr. Disney.
Great.
Everybody I've talked to supports you, and Steve, and IOD, up, down, sideways, and any other way you want to support. We feel that this is an abridgment of our rights. We decide what we want to listen to, not anybody else.
Exactly. Well, Steve put it very well when he said it's not just a campaign against us individually or against one radio station or now 3 stations, but it's a campaign against the public's right to make their own free choices as to what they find entertaining and what they want to listen to.
Yeah. Well, if I find that you're not entertaining, I do my own censorship and turn you off.
Wow. Pretty revolutionary.
Isn't that incredible?
Great? Yeah.
Isn't that incredible?
Never heard of such a thing.
Same thing with Steve. I mean, I won't go to WOLD because I just, they put me to sleep.
Yeah,
so I'll turn it off or turn on elevator music or something.
Sure.
But that's what we do, and that's my right to do it.
And that works, huh?
Yeah, it works real good.
Darn.
It works fine.
I just want to interrupt you for a second. When you talked about the harassing phone calls a year and a half ago, do you remember the time he put his personal call on
forwarding to our business number, which of course is a violation of the law.
Yeah, I
did it
remember
2 days in a row. Also came to my house and stuck an unstamped letter in my mailbox, which is a violation of federal postal law. And, constantly accusing me of criminal activity and solicitation on the air and being breaking the law. But in the meantime, he goes ahead and does these illegal things consistently all throughout this campaign.
Well,
and we're supposed to look the other way.
I also remember that he said he started getting all sorts of phone calls at his business office concerning, from people who were outraged at him for doing things to you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me say this. We have never encouraged anyone to do that.
I know that.
In fact, quite the contrary. We discourage all our listeners to refrain from contacting this individual anyway, because first, it's inappropriate, and secondly, it would be of no effect anyway. And thirdly, if they do want to do something positive, then they, ought to write the letters to our management and, and patronize our sponsors and do the things that help.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've written the letters, and any restaurant you ever recommend I've gone to, so I have no problem with you guys. And like I said, I'll exercise my own form of censorship when I'm not entertained.
Excellent. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.
1034 at WIOD. We have an open line in Broward, 524-9463. 524-WIOD. Henry... Pretty outrageous. 1041 at WIOD, 19 till 11. And we got a mobile in Broward. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
You know, I just wanted to let you know that I can understand your frustrations and the abuse that you must feel. However, I don't know whether you've given some thought to the fact that you should, or hopefully you will get some comfort out of the service you're giving to your community. Let me explain. My wife, she doesn't think much of your program. As a matter of fact, I think she'd like to see you off the air under any condition, any way that she can. She doesn't feel you belong there.
Really?
Really. Nevertheless, as a result of this these goings-on, she now realizes that she may have her feeling about you, but she's really imposing herself upon the community of individuals.
Yeah.
And now she feels very strongly that they can't do this to you. You have a right to be there. And I thought it would be interesting to know there's been a complete turnaround on her part. And
well, that's great.
This may be occurring to other people as well.
No, well, that is excellent. I made that point 2 days ago, that even the people who hate this show or hate me personally...
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. I'm on Mobile.
Okay. No, I was saying a couple of days ago, I made the point that even those people who hate this show, I think will come to the realization that when you start allowing individuals or groups of individuals in a community to censor and to try to get on the air only what they approve of, boy, then that's the first road to fascism. You can't allow that.
I think you're right, Neil. I think that this awareness now is good for our community. I really do. I think it's good. We need this awareness. We need this jolt in the back once in a while.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Good point.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Now, in fact, we probably owe a little thanks to Sunny Rosenberg again over there in Hallandale, because unwittingly what he's done by making this a news story, and now there have been like 5 newspaper articles about the entire story, or at least most of it, in the last couple of days, and now it's fair game for comment here. Prior to this, because of certain legal machinations that went on, there were some dubious circumstances, and we were restrained from talking about it on the air. But now, because it is a legitimate news story, we can really go into it and let the public know what's been going on. That's the thing that frustrated me the most over the past 19 months, is that the group of people who are the greatest supporters, which are your listeners, you couldn't talk to. We couldn't discuss it on the air. And that's, that was part of the game plan of this individual, was to keep muzzling us, and then to be able to go out, without the spotlight shining on him, and do all of these things in the dark, so to speak, and making all of these phone calls and harassing and threatening sponsors and threatening friends of mine and making, nuisance phone calls. And now it's going to stop. It may not stop today or tomorrow, but it's going to stop. Because a lot of this activity is blatantly illegal. It is certainly unethical as far as legal conduct is concerned, and it's going to stop. The party is over, okay? 1044 at WIOD, Tamarack. Hello.
Hi, good morning, Neil.
Hi.
Good morning, Bert.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
Good. First of all, I want to say how funny it is. Yesterday when the calls, did you hear on Steve's show?
Yeah, I heard the whole show.
It's very funny how these people who find that the songs and the bits are disgusting, how they call Steve and tell him, but they won't call your show.
Yeah. Right. Now, we didn't have a single negative call, and we certainly didn't screen them out. We just took them as they came in yesterday. We did not have a single negative call about this show or this radio station on a program yesterday.
Right. And did you hear the particular call when the woman called in and says that, her daughter heard the song Walk with an Erection, and she finds that that's very harmful?
Oh, yeah. And her daughter was 13 years old, and when Steve asked her if she heard anything that... Well, no, she didn't say harmful, because Steve said, was there any harm to her daughter because she heard it? And she said, well, not really.
Right.
And he said, did she hear anything that she wouldn't hear in school? And she said, well, no, not really. And, that was the end of the phone call.
Right. That's what's funny. These people act like they've never heard these things in their whole life before.
Well, it's really sad. I feel sorry for people who are so miserable or have such minimal sense of humor that are so uptight about words or about comedy or, pretend not to understand it. And I do say pretend because that's what they're doing. They're pretending they don't understand that it's satire and comedy. They know better.
Right. Well, I wish you and Steve, the best of luck, and I hope everything goes okay.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
1046 at WIOD, an open line in Broward, 524-9463. We have, ladies and gentlemen, another in our series of collect very expensive calls from Palm Springs, California. Hello.
Hi, Neil. Good morning.
Yes,
How
sir.
are you?
Okay.
Good. I called you from Pebble Beach about a week and a half ago. Whatever.
Yeah.
I sent you some faxes. Did you ever get them?
What were they?
They were San Francisco 49er press releases. From
Oh, yeah, sure did. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I thought the sports department was stealing them. Joe Zagacki has a sense of humor second to none.
Well, that Joe, man, he's a bundle of laughs. I've discovered that since coming here. He's a panic.
Right. I was supposed to come back
Especially
today.
when he talks to the cooch.
Right. That's right. I was supposed to come back today, but I dread coming back to that area, so I backed it up one day.
Well, I'll tell you, if you backed it up one day, you're going to come back just in time for the cold wave that's coming in tomorrow. It's beautiful today, but tomorrow it's going to be like, I think Soper said in the upper 60s, and I just, that's not kosher with me, okay?
Well,
although you guys had snow out there in California and northern L.A.
I'm in Palm Springs. I'm wearing gloves.
Yeah, well, that'll teach you.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, I appreciate you taking my call.
Okay, well, listen, hurry back.
All right.
We need you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. 1047 at WIOD. We don't want to get too food intensive now because Rich is doing so well. Although he looks like he just swallowed a rabbit. But Joe at Taft Street Rotisserie is a great friend of ours, and he'll be a great friend of yours, too, when you start shopping there.
And register to win an 89 Pontiac Grand Prix and other prizes from WIOD, your Doral Rider Open station. Now, more with Neil Rogers on News Talk Radio 610, WIOD.
I'm Mike Anthony. It's 10:51 at WIOD. Now, was that shocking?
Good heavens. Good
I see you pinching yourself. You couldn't believe your ears when you heard that, could you?
Good Lord.
Shocking. Yeah. I saw a guy with a pinstripe suit walking down the hall earlier. I wasn't sure exactly who it was.
Good
but that was
heavens.
Okay, we got it. While you're recovering, there's a mobile in Broward. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say. Just got one point, but in reference to the lady that was complaining about her daughter hearing the song Walk with an Erection.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more said and so forth in R-rated movies than your show even barely even touches on, and I think that's ridiculous, and I bet she lets her daughter go to R-rated movies.
Well, not only that, but I'm sure her daughter probably, before school in the morning or whatever, listens to FM shows, where they use all kinds of sexual material and play all kinds of racy things, which is fine, that goes on all over the country, and it's humor, it's entertainment, okay, and people who are so uptight about that, you really have to wonder.
Well, and plus, too, I think the violence that is in the movies is much more damaging than any words or any humor that you have on your show. I mean,
absolutely.
It's ridiculous.
Amen.
So, hang in there, and you got a lot of people that like you, so...
We're hanging. Thanks a lot.
Okay, see ya.
10:53 at WIOD. Speaking of that, Steve has a really interesting topic today, and it's about time. Did pornography really turn Bundy into a mass murderer? And, of course, that's the thing that the born-agains, the right-wingers, are now attempting to do, is use that ridiculous interview, that contrived interview with Bundy, and say, well, here we go. This is an excuse for us to start censoring, and you got to take Playboy out of the convenience store again, and all this kind of stuff they've been doing for years. And Steve's guest will be Sue the Censor. That's her name.
Sue.
Fred Schatz, who needs no introduction, and attorney Norman Kent. So that's going to be one barn burner of a show, okay? And it ties in with a lot of stuff we've been talking about the last 2 or 3 days because it has to do with freedom of speech and expression and the First Amendment, et cetera, and so on. North Miami Beach, hello.
Hi, Neil and Glenn.
Hi.
I've been a long time listener, but this is the first time I've ever called.
Good.
But I thought maybe you should know that I think it might be the same guy that's been harassing you that I heard call a couple of weeks back when Rebecca Paul was on one of the other stations and volunteer some more tapes to send to her.
Oh, no question about it. No question about it. Anybody, see, no matter what I talk about, no matter who I mention, even the Alpo dog food thing I did on the FM, which I was exonerated, absolutely backed up in by all the veterinarians in the area. But no matter what it is I say, a letter immediately goes out, and these comments were made by Neil Rogers, and they're inflammatory, and you ought to sue him, and just to try to create a barrage of lawsuits, none of which, by the way, have ever developed because there's nothing there, and just to try to create problem between me and management, make so much of a chaotic situation that I would lose my job. That's the game plan behind all of this. I mean,
I agree with you, but it was on Sandy's show, by the way, and Sandy asked Rebecca, what's this all about, and she says that she was getting all this information, and sending it to her lawyer to see about a libel suit.
Oh, yeah.
So I just thought,
Gee, we haven't heard a word about that.
No, isn't that funny? We haven't heard a word, and we won't.
2 or 3 weeks back.
Yeah. Well, you see, this is what happens in the beginning. The letters and the phone calls are so inflammatory, just like the thing that happened with Greg Budell. And, if you can take anything out of context and twist it, and a person doesn't know what really happened, anybody could say, gee, well, I'm going to sue somebody. That's outrageous. And then when they find out what really was said, like, the humorous stuff that we've done with Rebecca Paul, and that's all it's been, then, it all fritters away because there's nothing there.
Sure. Well, I just thought you should know, Neil, because I don't think this is right. I think this man has gone over the edge, and it's more than just harassment.
You bet.
It could get very nasty.
Well, it's going to stop, believe me.
Well, I just wanted you to know, honey.
Thanks a lot.
All right, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay, here's a caller who's got a tape of the Hallandale meeting. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, this is Ron. I talked to you yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to make that videotape up for you.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm working during the day, so it's going to be hard, but I'm going to bring it down to you tomorrow.
Great.
Okay?
We appreciate it.
Could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Could you call Gary a douchebag?
Well, for you, we'll do it. Gary, you're a douchebag, and that's only because this caller is such a great American.
All right, I'll bring it to you tomorrow, I promise.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
1056 at WIOD, an open line in Dade and in Broward, 751-9463 in Dade County, 751-WIOD, Hollywood. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Hi.
This is also Neil over in Hollywood. I was over at Hallandale yesterday, and I was getting all my hairs cut. And next to me...
all your hair's cut,
All my hair's cut.
Incredible.
I know. And next to me, there was this old typical Hallandale fart. And he starts to open up his mouth. Has everybody around here heard about this guy, Neil Rogers, and what he's saying and doing? And he starts going on and on. He's nothing but an old faggot, and doing all these dirty things on the radio and complaining about our nice Canadian neighbors and everything.
Yeah, I think middle-aged faggot would be much more fun. Not old yet, okay? Especially by Hallandale standards.
And I had just had enough of him, and I turned around to him, and I said, sir, do you understand that this is nothing but a radio show? I mean, it's just comedy. That is all it is. He says, I think you're just like him.
Oh, yeah.
I says, oh, really?
Yeah.
This guy just kept on and on.
Well, it's interesting. Tom Jicka at the Miami News is a good friend and who's been married for many, many years and has a family and is as straight as an arrow. When Tom was involved in getting abuse from this individual also, had one of a series of harassing calls, and when Tom didn't agree with what the caller was saying, the comment to Tom was, well, you must be a homosexual, too, because you agree with him. So you see, if you agree, then somehow you're painted by the same brush and, subject to the same kind of attack.
Right. So I says to him, well, if you feel this way, why don't you call him? And, why don't you call Neil?
No guts.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But every day, though, he keeps up the same thing. And the same thing, I says, oh, you listen to him? I says, oh, you can't turn it off, can you?
That's right.
You just can't.
Every day we keep up this. Isn't that fascinating? Just like a few of those callers Steve had yesterday. And there weren't really that many of them, but the few who did call, as you listen to the call and Steve drew them out, you discover they can quote chapter and verse of anything and everything we say on the show because, like you say, they can't shut it off.
They can't shut it off. Well, my letter's in the mail, and let's just kick ass and take names.
We're doing it. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Bye.
Are you people listening to this show again today?
Yeah, those of you who hate the show and sit around and mutter and bitch and complain about it, you got 39 at least other alternatives on the radio, not to mention the TV set, and you got Sally and Geraldo and Bob Barker and God only knows what else, and they're still subjecting themselves to this awful, terrible stuff that is so outrageous and so nasty and so whatever. I got news for you, man. I've been in the business almost 30 years. I've traveled all over this country. I've heard FM morning shows. I've heard Stern in New York and the Greaseman and Steve in Chicago. And this show is so tame compared to dozens and dozens of other radio programs in major markets that this is like Pee-wee's Playhouse. Was that a little slip of the tongue? It's like Pee-wee's Playhouse by comparison, okay? So grow up and get real, will you?
Now,
Okay.
the word of the day, just like Pee-wee, we have to have our word of the day.
Okay, here's the word of the day.
I'm Mike Anthony.
Okay, and Henry Barrow standing by. I bet you that brings back a lot of great memories for Henry now. In fact, another sip later this afternoon just to make up for that. Henry's got the 11 o'clock WIOD news. We'll come back at 11:05. Steve with his pornography and Bundy story this afternoon with Sue the Censor, Fred Schatz, and Norman Elliott Kent.
News Talk Radio 610 WIOD presents Neil Rogers. To get in touch and talk, call 751 WIOD in Dade, 524 WIOD in Broward, or 655 and 278 WIOD in the Palm Beaches. Other areas may call collect. The opinions expressed by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily those of the station. Now, here's Neil Rogers on News Talk Radio 610 WIOD.
All right, Henry, get off the floor, will you, please?
It's
11:05 at WIOD. Now, to show you that even in the darkest of moments, there's always a little comedy. One of the letters that this individual we're discussing, this attorney, one of the letters he sent, I don't remember whether it was to our corporate attorney or, there are so many and to so many different people. One of the letters went through these bitter complaints about the fact that this outrageous behavior is going on with Henry Barrow drinking on the air and sexual harassment on the job of April Wortham, referring to you talk about somebody with no sense of humor or pretending to have no sense of humor. Unbelievable.
Little stretch.
Yeah, just a little. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's 6 minutes past 11 at WIOD. We got a West Palm Beach call. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
Bert.
Hi.
Good morning.
Yeah.
How you doing? This is my second time calling.
From Palm Beach?
Oh, now you're a veteran. Okay, now it ought to be a great call.
It is because I just want to let you know here in West Palm Beach there are a lot of listeners, whether you know it or not, and we all love you.
We know it.
You know it.
They never call, but they're like the silent minority up there or something.
Well, I don't know what it is, but we do love you down here. And this controversy going on with Hallandale is a bunch of bull, and I just want to say that...
I think you could have just said Hallandale is a bunch of bull would have been more appropriate.
Okay, let me rephrase this. Hallandale is a bunch of bull.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Anyway, I want you to know that our company here, if I may plug the name, we all listen to you.
Okay.
Which is Paradise Farms.
Okay, you probably expect a phone call any minute now.
That's okay.
So govern yourselves accordingly up there.
Whoever has anything bad to say about you, I can guarantee I'll straighten them out real quick.
Oh, good.
Anyway, I just want to call my boss, John, a douchebag.
Okay.
And we love your show. It's great. And remember, Paradise Farms is with you all the way.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome, Neil.
Bye.
Bye.
11:07 at WIOD, and I knew we were in paradise. I feel like kind of a stranger in paradise. Makes me want to break into song. 655 WIOD in Palm Beach. By the way, we got a good response on a fax machine during the first hour.
Yeah.
And the people over next door at GT are upset because they can't do their silly stuff on a fax machine or whatever. This could be a little more impotent, okay, than whatever supercilious stuff they're doing next door. And by the way, they better clean up their act, too. 655-9463. And the number on the fax machine, if you want to send us a letter of support, and address him, please, to Mike Disney. He's our general mangler here, and he's walking around in the hall like he knows what's going on. The fax number is 757-7516. These are not really expensive, are they, fax machines? They're like $500-600.
Oh, the machine itself?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what they are
I think they're
now.
about $500-600.
Are they now?
I'm thinking of getting one of those.
Are you?
They're kind of fun, aren't they?
Yeah, they are fun. I've faxed things on ours. Yeah.
Because it makes you feel important. I find that people with fax machines, it's kind of like people that get those phony antennas and put them on the back of their car, so you think they got a car phone.
Oh, it's a great thing, though.
It really is. Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, moving along. There we go. I said that again. Where do I come up with this stuff?
Moving along. How about moving right along?
Moving right along. By the way, Joey is supposed to stop by today, and he could be listening right as we speak, so we better try to do a good show. But Joey Reynolds called and wants to come by and plug his appearance on the Mort Downey Jr. show, which is one of the crassest commercial things I've ever heard in my life. But we like Joey a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, we wish that Joey were doing middays on She right now. But, so if he's listening, we certainly invite him. Sharon left a message on his answering machine. We hope he comes by sometime today. What day is that on? Is that on tonight?
I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah, check Ward
I don't
Downey, because
think
if it's
so.
on tonight, then he definitely needs to come by.
I don't think it's
North
tonight.
Miami, hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Neil.
How are you?
Hi, Glenn.
Hi. Tonight, media people who would cancel tabloid TV programs.
Really?
I don't know if that's Joey or not.
Huh. Sounds like censorship to me. Go ahead, pal. I'm sorry.
Oh, I wanted to talk to Glenn for a minute.
Go ahead.
Glenn, you were in
I'm
the
Mike
Army?
Anthony.
What?
You were in the Army?
Yes, sir.
And I was in the Marines. Remember when we used to have to swear to protect the Constitution
Absolutely.
from enemies within and without?
Oh. 10 minutes after 11 at WIOD, we have an open line in Dade, 751-9463.
Now,
I didn't let that go.
I
by the
know.
way.
It was a valid question, but we couldn't put it
No.
on the air.
No, not for the air. Let's see. And somebody expired in Boca. I think just when that guy said that, the guy passed out in Boca. 278-9463. 278-WIOD.
You letting the delay build back up?
Yeah, now I'm going to do my break. I'm not a fool, you know. I wasn't born yesterday. As a matter of fact, let's see. It's 10 after 11. That means Charhut, all 7 South Florida locations are open right now. Linda and Susan will be here later from Nutrisystem. I don't want to get them upset because I didn't gain any of my weight back. However, is that for me? Is that the name? Oh, that's something else. What is it? Oh, it is for me. Cheryl is so confused because she ate yesterday, and it's been the first time in weeks that she's had anything to eat, and she's a little groggy from the after effect. But anyway, speaking of eating, Linda and Susan, I guess, will be pleased that I didn't gain any weight back. And I must confess, a couple of times during the past 2 weeks, we've sneaked over to Charhut and had a great Italian sausage.
OD.
We're here at Fort Lauderdale's prestigious and award-winning Mandarin restaurant, Bert and Wong's, where we've secretly replaced their gourmet sweet and sour sauce with new and improved butt-lick and duck sauce. Let's listen in. Well, there you have it. There ain't no sauce around. Butt-lick and duck sauce, available now at Piggly Wiggly. Why lick the best when you can lick the nest? Butt-lick and duck sauce.
It's 11:14 at WIOD, and when I mentioned Joey's name, a couple of lines dropped off. We have an open line in Boca, 278-9463, 278-WIOD. As we continue, just shocking the listening audience, right? Especially those who are listening who hate every moment of it.
Oh, God.
There was one woman yesterday, it was one of the classic calls. She said she sets her radio. Have you ever heard that expression before? She sets her radio. She listens to Mike in the morning. She sets it on 610, hates me, and once in a while, by accident, picks up Steve because she has her radio set. I think that was the same one with the daughter, the 13-year-old daughter.
Oh, really?
So they must have all the radios in the house and in the car set on 610, and they can't move them. So I'm sure we have people in the audience who'd be more than happy to volunteer if she wants to call back off the air. And Nick will take her name and address, and we can send somebody over there to unset her dials.
An engineer.
Yeah, we'll send Mitch over there because he's an expert, and he will move the. In fact, we can probably arrange every day at certain times. We can send somebody over there, a courier, to change the dial, so she doesn't have to be subjected to a lot of stuff that she just can't stand. North Miami Beach, hello.
I just want to let that woman know, by the way, I've got one of these revolutionary stereos. It's got a VFO on it. You can actually change the stations.
No, come on.
Are you sure?
Have they got something like that now?
Technology's just burning them up, guys.
Incredible. Edison would be shocked, wouldn't he?
I'm telling you. Good to talk to you, by the way. Great show as always. Wanted to make a couple of points, if I may. First of all, I'd like to know what makes Mayor Sunny and the city manager Ayatollah think that they can't accomplish what the FCC tried to accomplish when you're on INZAM a couple of years ago.
Well, first of all, the FCC didn't try to accomplish anything. They were sent just tons of the same kind of stuff that they've been getting now, and they even monitored the show, if I can use that word, and they sent somebody down here to the local FCC office for several days, and they monitored, and their comment was they didn't find a damn thing wrong with it. There is absolutely nothing in those files. Zero.
I thought it was kind of the same thing, because if I remember correctly, I may be wrong, but if I remember correctly, a lot of this is pretty much the same thing. They were getting complaints, and they came down, and if the feds can't do it, what makes you think a couple of peons from a local city can accomplish this?
Exactly. Well, don't you understand, with Sonny, it's an ego thing, and here's a chance in his own foolish, egomaniacal way to strut his stuff again and show all the AKs over there what a hotshot he is, and he's going to get that Neil Rogers. And all he does, this is the second time they've done it in 2 years, and they just make fools out of themselves.
Well, I got news for Sonny. It may come as a shock to him, but I can still go into my video store and rent or purchase things that I wouldn't want to show to my 2-year-old son. I can still go and turn on, even during daytime primetime television, find topics that I wouldn't want to show to my 2-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
I don't notice any personal vendettas going out against that sort of thing. As a matter of fact, if you walk the streets of Hallandale at the right time, you might find some things that you don't want to find there. But
really?
That doesn't seem to be a problem, and I'd really love to know why. Just a quick point I'd like to make also, I'm a manager of a small service business in the city of Hallandale, and just for your reference and just for, I'm not going to plug the name because it's not a plug, but anybody walks in today that is under the age of 65 and doesn't live in Hallandale, 10% discount across the board.
Okay, good idea. Good
Keep it
start,
up, guys.
sir.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Man, that could be the start of a revolution now. The under 65 discount.
Good Lord.
Wouldn't that be great?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can have like late bird specials for people who eat after 6 p.m., who are under the age of 200 and don't have blue hair and aren't wearing a cap. Okay, that would be great. Okay, both the Palm Beach lines went out. I think mentioning Joey probably put us in great jeopardy here. Even Art Fleming would be embarrassed by this. 278-9463 in Boca, 655-WIOD in beautiful, prestigious Palm Beach, which you can call collect from anywhere else because it's always open. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, Neil. You find out who your friends are when you're in trouble, right?
Yes.
Incidentally, last week, I'm an insomniac. Last week I always have Larry King on. And I'm one of those people that leave WIOD on constantly. So somebody called in and reported your vile language, and poor Larry knew from nothing. And this fellow said, "Why are you connected with a station that permits a thing like that?" And he says, "Sir, I have no idea what you're talking about." And he went on to the next one.
Hmm.
At any rate...
I wondered who that could have been.
Take 3 guesses.
Mm-hmm.
At any rate, we love you.
Well, you know, it sounds like the fact that you listen to IOD constantly and never
Right.
change the radio, it sounds like a conscious decision on your part.
Well,
in other words, your dial...
people you have on.
Yeah, in other words, your dial isn't stuck, though, or frozen.
No, it's not stuck.
Yeah. Well, great.
Incidentally, I'm 68, and I've just mailed my letter to Mr. Disney. I've recently moved down after my husband's demise, and believe you me, you perk up the day. Things are quite dull after New York.
Mm-hmm.
You can say that again. They're even dull after Canandaigua, New York. How do you like that?
Oh, God. No, but truthfully, this is the highlight of the day. You
Yep.
and Steve.
Well, a lot of people say that. I think that's quite a commentary on what a town this is, but it is true. In fact, there are a lot of people who are bedridden. You'd be amazed some of the letters that I have gotten over the years, people who are bedridden and people who just can't get out of the house. And this gives them a few laughs and chuckles.
Of course,
And
it's all in fun. I
you bet.
stated that in my note. It's all in fun. Who takes these things seriously?
Well, only people who want to for very sinister purposes.
And I think it's such a waste of time.
You bet.
And I liked what Steve said about Bob Grant. When he was painting, I had painters here recently, and they listened to your program.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, this is a very dull job, and unless I hear something like that, he says, I can't go on with this.
Yeah.
And he's
yeah.
been doing it for some 30 years. He's bored.
Well, like Steve said, sometimes living here is like watching paint dry, you know. Okay, you have a good one.
You too.
And thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
20 past 11 at WIOD. We have an open line in beautiful Broward County at 524-9463. 524-WIOD. Yes?
I wanted to know if I could repeat the quote that I gave the Miami Review, which is a legal newspaper that printed my quote about this individual about a year and a half ago. Can I say it on the air without you dumping
I don't know
it?
what it was. I don't remember.
Well, I don't think you'll dump it, but they did print it exactly what I said, as the other papers did not. I said, they asked me about this individual. You may want to hold your hand by the button, but they printed it in the Miami Review. You dumped it.
Yes.
Okay.
But certainly true. 21 past 11 at WIOD. Well, it's subjective, you know.
Well, the people on the phone got to hear it.
In fact, there was a proctologist who said the same thing. But, we have an open line in Broward, 655-WIOD, 655-9463. Oh, God. And then there was another one of these old prunes on there yesterday with Steve talking about the language, and he used that word that you just mentioned, which I didn't dump it because of the word, but just, for old time's sake.
Sure.
But
it's been a long time.
And the guy, he made after all the conversation back and forth, and the guy wasn't screaming or anything. He was, I think, too comatose to do that. But he made a very profound point. He said, Steve, I'd much rather be called an idiot than an asshole. And I thought about that, and I thought, gee, that's really profound thinking, you know? I thought about it for hours after the guy said it, and I thought those are words to live by, you know?
In life.
Yeah. And I was thinking, I feel the same way. So maybe I am getting old, you know? Anyway, look at this. Mike Spindell, a great broadcasting star of the past.
Well, yeah, the past and the, hopefully, the way past. I've given up the business, Neil.
Well,
especially with the aggravation you guys have gone through.
Well, you can relate to it. You used to have a lot of fun on Sunday.
Well, no, not only that, but, it's for anybody who has been in the broadcast media, the chilling effect. The reason I called is, first of all, to voice my support and to say that, anything that I can do, I've already written my letter and it's gone out along with a cassette. No, I'm only kidding. No,
by the way, you did get your cassette, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, thank God. Thank goodness.
You for that.
Okay.
After you had totally embarrassed and humiliated me on the air. But
that was the price of getting the cassette.
The reason that I called is, first of all, to voice the support, but also a very unusual thing. You had it on the news yesterday, and it was in the Herald this morning, about Florida has one of the nation's highest instances of censorship in public schools.
Yeah, I saw that.
And, that was running on your news at the bottom of the hour, the top of the hour, and you're just listening to that in schools, and you know that the atmosphere that permeates South Florida and permeates the state is something that you, in your own way, and in the humorous way, and Steve in his way, is trying to basically combat.
Well, it is unfortunate that we live in a Neanderthal state, but keep in mind a lot of that stuff goes on up in the central and northern part of the state where they have these Neanderthal backwater kind of redneck yahoos who are running the school systems. And, of course, there are those people here who try to do the same thing. But, the amazing part of it is that over the last several months, thanks to our good friend, this program and yours truly, we've been investigated by just about every agency except the CIA, and they find nothing wrong with the program, nothing inappropriate about anything that we're doing, and the only problem they have is with the person who's instigated the investigations.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I look at it two different ways. The way that I look at it is your frustration shows through, and it was a time for you more or less to air what went on now that it becomes a legitimate news story. But isn't it, in a way, something that this character has been kind of looking for also? The mention or the not mention of his name, but he's probably just getting off on the mention of what he's been involved.
No, I don't think so. A lot of people believe that, but he's been reveling in the fact that he's been able to do all of this without us being able to talk about it and do it in the dark without people exposing what's been going on. And now that people are getting wind of it, including the sponsors, and they realize that they're not isolated or alone, they're prepared to respond. Believe me, it's the greatest thing that could have happened. We thank Sunny Rosenberg profusely.
Absolutely. I think the city of Hallandale should hang its head because it was used in this situation.
Yeah.
But the only other thing I want to say is for anybody out there that wants to support or continues to support your station, yourself and Steve, is just to patronize the sponsors. That's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm. You bet.
Listen, best of luck to all of you.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Take care.
That's a good point.
25 past 11, that's Mike Spindell, and let me tell you about Nutrisystem right now. Linda and Susan will be here a little bit later. Well, gee, it was sure nice to see Spike for a second or two. It's 29 past 11 at WIOD. Let's take the mobile, and then we'll get into this other incredible story.
Yes, it is incredible.
Mobile in Broward. Hello.
Yeah, Neil?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I've been out of town for about a week now, and I just tuned in today. What's going on? What's this guy trying to do now?
What's he trying to do now? Well, the same thing he's been trying to do for 19 months, and that is get me off the air. And he's been, harassing our sponsors and harassing anybody's, I know. And now he got the city of Hallandale the other day to pass a resolution condemning the program and all of this other baloney. So now that it's a legitimate news story and it's been written up in the newspapers, we can talk about it, and it's out of the closet, so to speak.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I've been listening to you ever since Glenn got on here on WINZ, and I've been enjoying your show. I've got nothing against it.
Great.
And, all right. Well, I just wanted to see what that was about.
Well, I wouldn't lose any sleep. I mean, we're going to be here, but just one of those things in life, There's always got to be one.
Yeah.
In every crowd. Okay, listen, you have a good one.
I just want to tell him to govern himself accordingly.
Okay.
All right,
thanks a lot. Oh, that's going to be almost as big as ponderous, that expression, govern yourself accordingly. Every one of his threatening letters at the end, it always says, govern yourself accordingly, which is just amusing as hell. Anyway, now wait a minute, he can't go out of here. You can't leave now. Where the hell are you going? No. Forget about the phone call. You started the problem now. Let's get into this. We're changing gears momentarily for just a bit, but Fat Rich, who tends to be a radio yenta anyway,
yes,
told someone in the room, it's not me, so there's only one other person in the room moments ago, that Captain Dave, and this is like third hand, somebody else told Fat Rich, who was telling the Bird, that Captain Dave over at Zeta made a scurrilous attack against the Bird on the air over there a week or so ago. It's shocking that anybody would have heard it because nobody's listening over there.
That's what's amazing.
That is shocking. But I find it very hard to believe because Caprita calls me frequently, and he certainly never indicated to me any animosity there.
And Dave and I worked together years ago at Love 94, and I thought we were friends, and we worked together at Zeta, and I never ever had any run-in with Dave. Ever. And if he went on the air and said things about it, I'd like to hear from him.
Yeah.
About
allegedly,
this.
he said he's the worst cackler, the worst...
something. And anyway, I have his home phone number right here.
The worst everything.
In my hand.
Maybe we'll call him on the air and get this straightened out, because we shouldn't have any problems with Captain Dave. I mean, there are plenty of other people in that building that we're not too fond of.
Sure, if it was someone else, I could...
Anybody in management over there, but there are plenty of people who are just subhuman douchebags over there, but he's not one of them. He's, at least at the moment,
I thought,
a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
It turns out that the story is true, of course. He will also be a...
That's right.
...subhuman douchebag.
But I've never, the year we worked on Zeta with Dave, nothing ever happened.
No, we never had for three
not
people
even close.
Working together in a totally spontaneous thing.
Not even close.
And there was never even the slightest problem. Well, at least not among us. I mean, there were other problems going on, many of which were connected to what we're discussing these last couple of days. And, of course, there were those occasional problems with the moody program director who would come in the morning and then march into the control room while we were on the air and give us dirty, frowning, hostile looks. That happened on 2 or 3 occasions, which I found totally Bush League and unacceptable. And in fact, he was in there constantly, and I could never figure that out. Could you?
He loved it. I don't know.
And he would talk out loud in the background while the show was going on, which I don't understand him at all at Rose. But, of course, when, a guy named Rose, that leads him, you got to have some questions about that to begin with. I don't know too many guys named Rose, do you? I know Pete Rose, but not too many guys named Rose.
Not a bicycle.
Here's a call from Stuart. Hello.
Hello, Neil, first-time caller.
Buenos dias.
Listen, I just got a crazy Hallandale story for you. Let me start by saying this. I got transferred down to this great town of Fort Lauderdale from Jacksonville, which, in your words, is a very turmoil society up there. But I listened to the Grease Man while I was going to college up there. So you are a virgin angel in my book.
Well,
let's
just say angel. Let's leave the virgin part out of it, sir.
All right, that sounds great. Got a great Hallandale story for you. I'm a salesman. I sell computers, and I had an appointment with the city of Hallandale. I'd been down here about 2 weeks, just bought a brand new 1988 Corvette, was really happy with it.
Yeah. What color is it?
It's dove gray.
Ooh.
But anyways, I only drove it on Fridays because Hallandale was part of my territory because of the crazy people down there, the way they drive and the way they carry on. So anyways, to make a long story short, I was stopped in front of the Diplomat Mall at the red light there where the crosswalk is, and I'm looking down at my paperwork preparing for this big meeting with the big city of Hallandale, and all of a sudden I hear this tremendous banging on my car and rattling, and I look up, and here's these 2 old guys with keys in their hand banging on the hood of my car. So obviously I get very upset. I pull in the Diplomat Mall, and I get out of my car, and I go up to these 2 guys, and I say, "What in the world are you doing? Have you lost your mind?" I said, "I just spent $35,000 for this car."
Oh, yeah.
And so the guy looks at me, and he says, "Well, I don't need a car. I walk everywhere I go." And he turned around and walked off. And that was it.
That was it? That was the explanation?
That was his explanation. So,
oh, my God.
Anyways, nothing but 1,000% from support from me and all the guys at Gold's Gym in Fort Lauderdale where we train. We think you're a great person. We listen to you all the time, and we're under the age of 150. And I tell you what, just get out there and kick some ass. You're doing great. We need more people in this world like you.
Amen. Thanks a lot.
Okay, man. Goodbye.
Bye. Now, see, I have that 88 Vet. Mine is a red one, but I got news for you. If anybody even pretended to be doing something like that, they wouldn't be walking, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They might be crawling, but, I mean, that's just incredible.
What a story.
Unbelievable. Okay, we have an open line in Broward, 524-WIOD, and those who can't get through in Dayton Broward can call us collect, please. We'd like to pay for it. In Palm Beach, 655-WIOD, 655-9463. Gee, I was just going to do something before the break. I was going to give the fax number out again, 757-7516, for those of you pseudo-intellectuals who have fax machines, 757-7516, if you want to send us a note or letter, what have you. We've already got several, which is a really promising start. And if you don't have a fax machine, guess what? They got like postage stamps and envelopes, and if you send along a nice letter to Mike Disney, we'd sure appreciate it.
They're two Miami cops with a hot new beat. They're on the streets fighting crime.
Hey, Pops, that's a handicapped space there.
Yeah. In Hallandale Vice.
We got a problem. The Gray Gang is up to their old tricks.
Lieutenant, isn't that the group of senior citizens who went around trying to get the early bird special after 7?
Yeah, they're back in town.
Let's go get them.
They'll stop at nothing to clean up the streets.
Hey, lady, you can't cross here. You'll have to cross at the light.
And they're determined to clean up the smuggling business.
All right, sister, you're under arrest.
Oh, so now you're arresting my wife. What's the charge?
Possession of powder. Open that purse, Tubbs. Let's see that white stuff. Yeah, just a thought. She's got over 100 bags in here.
Of what?
Sweet and low. From that restaurant she just came out of. Let's take them in.
Yes, they're a couple of hit Miami cops on a hot new beat in Hallandale Vice. Premiering this fall on MBZ.
1140 at WIOD. By the way, Mark Mosley, who did that Hallandale Vice thing for us, which was monster, was number 1 with 6 bullets during the first Hallandale battle, brought by a new one, a second version, which we're having carted up right now. We thank him in advance. He's just been tremendous to us. And Joey is coming by. Can you believe it? So Joey will be by shortly, and we're looking forward to that, okay? Here's a mobile in Palm Beach. Hello.
Good morning, Neil. How are you?
Great.
Glenn, how are you?
They're all gone. They're all like flitting around the building now, so it's just us.
Is there food there, Neil, or what?
Well, I think it may be coming, yeah.
Oh, well, this is, I wanted to identify myself. I'm the ex-homosexual who's going to be an ex-lesbian from the holdover from Steve's show.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm thinking about being an
Did you get yourself straightened out, sir?
Yeah, well, kind of.
So to speak.
But what I want to do is I want to be an ex-citizen, and I want to move to Hallandale. Now, do I have to get a brown shirt to go there, Neil, or...
And boots.
And boots?
And they must be above the knee.
Do I need a whip and a chain?
Like hip boots, yeah.
Really? Well, Neil, I just want to tell you, you've got my support as an ex-homosexual and former lesbian. When I get to be, an ex-citizen and go to Hallandale, I'm still going to support you. I'm going to work on the underground for you there.
Okay, well, you get your certificate proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that all of that is in your past. Sonny will allow you to move in.
Really?
Maybe.
Boy, that'd be my lucky day, Neil.
That is as long as you give up this show also, by the way.
I'm sorry. He'll have to go straight to the devil on that
You have to have a radio that's with a dial that's frozen on WOLD.
Oh, and then I can have that lady who can't change her dial, your engineer.
Yeah, you can move in right next door to her, exactly.
Won't that just be Ducky?
Yep.
Neil, it's been a pleasure. Good luck, although you don't need it, and I hope you bury the guy.
Good day.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. 1142 at WIOD. We have an open line in Palm Beach. 655-9463. 655-WIOD. Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Neil, how you doing?
Good.
A couple things real quick. Believe it or not, I went to high school last year with Mike Anthony's son.
You're kidding.
I'm serious. I'm serial. Anyways, do you have to be a Hallandale resident to get into that meeting?
I'm Mike Anthony. Oh, Mike, cut it out. No, it's open to the public. Anybody, obviously the issue transcends Hallandale, so it is open to the public. Anybody and everybody wants to attend can do so.
Yeah, well, a couple guys, friends of mine, we pride ourselves in being the young listeners, so, anyways, we figured maybe we could bribe ourselves in with a couple packs of sweet and low and
There you go. That'll do it. And a couple of Danish, man. That'll get you in faster than anything.
All right, Neil, it's been great talking to you, and if you move real quick in Fort Lauderdale, there's an open line right now.
Okay, thanks. And he's right. At 524-9463. But there it goes, man. They're just sizzling today. Let me tell you, they're just foaming at the mouth. Where are we going? To Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Neil.
Speaking.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
Oh, it confused me.
Shocking.
Hey, I listened to that show, the one that somebody called and said something about the Zeta show.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Captain Dave.
Who was it?
It was the...
Brad?
No, well, he was contributing, but it was the...
The Colonel.
The private, whatever
The Colonel. Ah, well, here's a little explanation on the story now. Here's a gentleman who is a WIOD spy who heard the aforementioned business over there. So was the Colonel ripping the bird?
Yeah, because I guess the bird said something about, he mentioned something about talent or lack of or something like that.
Yeah, what I did was I heard him rip...
Hi, BLD. I didn't know you were there.
Yeah, I just came back.
All right.
I'm sorry. What I did was I...
Guess what he's eating for lunch? He's got a BLT.
I said that the show was the closest thing to unlistenable I had ever heard in my life.
Which is correct.
Which is correct, and he really took offense to that. Right. Well, that's a good explanation.
Yeah, because I was flipping around the dials, and they didn't have a song on, but they were talking, and they... Remember that sound effect, the one... I don't hear too much when you guys moved over, that one?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it was kind of like this one. Yeah.
Well, it's the bird, the cackle, the one you guys use all the time. And
But did he name me by name?
Oh, yeah. They were calling you the world's luckiest human.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It was pretty intense there.
Well, when the next trend comes out on the 24th of February, he may be, the Colonel may be one of the world's unluckiest humans to be working on that particular radio station because they're going to have to get a magnifying glass to read the numbers.
Really?
So what he was saying was I have no talent and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, and you were the world's luckiest human, and that was basically it, but they kept going on and on.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. That's what I said.
It wasn't Captain Dave. He was sort of like,
Yeah. I want to tell you a little story, okay? And I have never really gone through this before because I don't feel like we need to prove anything because, the track record speaks for itself. But back during the summer of '87 when we were on INZ doing midday, we eventually got to see, we had a 9 share in the spring book, and then we got to see the breakdown of some of the numbers day by day. And on the day before I went on vacation on a Friday, we had average quarter-hour listeners of 111,000 some odd, which I don't think any station in this market has ever had an average quarter-hour like that. Thank you, Sharon. And the Monday following that, when I wasn't there, Glenn was doing a show alone with nobody else. He had 93 or 94,000 people listening on that day.
I remember that.
Without me, okay?
Right.
So anybody who wants to put him down and go into a song and a dance is only doing it because of jealousy and because of their own lack of ability to generate an audience.
Yeah.
And it is a fact, sir, it is in black and white, that the record ratings we got back then, the 9 and the 7.5, was when I was on the show.
I agree.
The big ratings were when I was there.
I thought I'd do a little tinkling on you. But
I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks for straightening that out.
One more thing, of course I'm behind all this. I've been listening to you guys since, AM and the other AM. And, hey, Bert, you did a good job on those movies the other day. I was impressed. I thought I was listening to Jack Sturdy.
Now, let's not go crazy.
Yeah, now you're really getting carried away. Remember, pal, what comes around. See you later.
Bye.
11:47 at WIOD. We have an open line in Broward, 524-9463. So you see...
I feel better.
Yeah, you feel better, because it wasn't Captain Dave. It was the Colonel with some help from Brad, the butt-kissing Colonel or whatever his name is.
That threw me for a little loop because it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
No.
But you know Rich. Rich is a very emotional guy and gets all carried away. Anyway, after we do this break, we have, thanks to our good friend Mark Mosley from Power 96, we have Hallandale Vice 2, which will be debuting in moments, and we thank Mark profusely from the bottom of our parts. This is his contribution to this campaign. Here we are in another campaign, and it comes totally out of the blue because we're just here doing our thing, doing our ponderous show, and all of a sudden we get the frantic call on, was it Monday? Tuesday. The frantic call out front, and it was the Herald and the Hallandale meeting and all of this other, which we knew nothing about.
Right.
And here we are again. Anyway, if you're a sports nut like I am and your cable company isn't providing the sports channel, man, you are missing it, okay? I mean, you get some of these other sports-intensive type of channels on there. I don't want to mention any names. And they give you that Olympic nose-picking and stuff. It's just a joke. But the sports channel is...
Oh, I think I'll turn on Neil Rogers.
Hold it right there, pal. Don't touch that dial.
Oh, my God. It's Sunny.
It's Hallandale Vice 2. Sunny's Revenge.
Yeah, it looks like we got him. Thanks for the tip, Mrs. Aquacoy.
You're welcome, Sonny. I mean, I knew he was a sicko when I rented him the place. I mean, look at this. He even had this filth he was looking at.
My God. It's the Ted Bundy pictures. Looks like we stopped another future mass murderer Neil scumbag moron.
The streets of Hallandale are safe again, thanks to you, Sonny.
Just doing my job, Mrs. Aquacoy. By the way, I'm going to need your name and phone number. We contact you later.
Let me get you my card. Oops, I dropped my purse.
Say, what's that fell out of your purse?
11:53 on WIOD. To be continued. They couldn't be little pink packages, could they? Anyway, thank you, Mark. You're a great American, even if you do work over there at Power 96. We have an open line in Dade, 751-9463. I guess we got it all covered now because Tanner called yesterday. Cox calls Chronic, okay, and now we got Mark Mosley. All we need is Jim Reilly to call in.
One of your biggest fans.
Yeah, big fan of mine. Del Rey, hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yeah.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi.
Like your show. Got a couple of things for you. Hey, guess who your pal Murray Pupik is married to?
Connie Chung, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought Neil would Glenn would like that.
Yeah.
Also, there's a restaurant up in the Canaan Valley in West Virginia where I go skiing every year.
In the what?
In the Canaan Valley. Up in the mountains in
West Virginia. In the Inane Valley?
Yeah, the Inane Valley. And guess what the name of it is? B.L. Ducks.
B.L. Ducks.
B.L. Ducks.
Incredible.
Wow.
That's almost as good as that liquor store out in Colorado.
ABC?
No, Beaver Liquors.
Oh, God.
In Beaver
I
Creek.
was there the other day.
That's a true story.
That was great.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, my wife is in the healthcare field, and so consequently she deals with a lot of elderly people all day. And she says that all of the obnoxious ones, their biggest problem, you know what the main topic of the day is? Bowel fixation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they ought to talk to my dogs.
And maybe that's their problem down in Hallandale.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, well, a lot of those people haven't had a good BM like in 20, 30 years. It's a little frustrating. Can you imagine?
Well, that's why they're so irritated all the time.
If they just talk to Sonny, man, that might solve the problem.
I think so. Listen, I'm out of material.
Okay, have a good one.
Good day.
Bye. 11:55 at WIOD. We have an open line in, it's wide open in Boca, so to speak, at 278-9463. 278-WIOD.
There was a lot to that last call.
There certainly was. I just want
there.
you to ponder that call for a while, okay?
Yes.
Just sit there and kind of think about it. Pompano, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
How you doing today?
Okay.
I don't know, did you read that article in the Miami Herald yesterday?
Did I read it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable. I can't believe some of the stuff this guy's saying.
Well, what do you think we've been talking about here for like 3 days now?
Oh, I know, but I had never read any of the articles. I barely get to listen to you during the day because I have to drive all day and I'm always making stops, so I can only hear bits and pieces.
Yeah, well, that's only the tip of the iceberg, believe me.
Oh, I just can't believe this guy's actually got the chutzpah to do this.
Mm-hmm. And the time to do it. And the time to do it.
Oh, I know, the worst.
What a life, huh?
Talk about a rich, full life, man.
This guy must have nothing better to do than go around and try to persecute people.
Well, it's a hobby, like baseball card collecting or stamp collecting. I guess must be a hobby.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if he's got nothing better to do, I mean, what does he think he's going to accomplish? It's just,
well, create a lot of grief, and he certainly has accomplished doing that, but the worm has turned, my friend, believe me.
Oh, I believe it. Well, we're all behind you here in Pompano, and I just I'm stayed home from work today because I'm sick and supposed to be anyway.
Yeah, supposed to be. Well, it's just one of those days. It's not a good day to work.
So I know my boss is out running around doing my route for me, and Stan, if you're listening, I know you say you hate Neil, but I know you really do listen to him.
That's correct. Yeah, hi, Stan. How you doing?
Stan, how you doing? Have a good day.
And you are a douchebag, Stan, believe me. Okay.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
Good work, pal.
All righty.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
11:57 at WIOD. We have an open line in Broward. If you move like light up, too late.
Boy.
Too late. Miami, hello.
Hello.
Yes.
I've been waiting to talk to Neil.
This is Neil.
Neil, I'm awful mad. Somebody's called on my intercom. Now, I have a private number, not in a book, not listed and nothing, and going around talking about you. Do you want to hear the tape?
What do you mean calls on your intercom?
They called on my answering machine, and I don't know the person. And they're using my phone number, which I don't know, and they're talking about you. You want to hear it? I'm going to call up the telephone company and blow my stack.
There's no bad language on them, is there?
No.
Go ahead.
All right, hold on.
Mike Ranieri.
It's 11:58 at WIOD. I thought they were talking about us, not about sponsors. What is that? Oh, the Playboy Great Playmate
Sharon
Hunt
knows what I like. She takes care of me. You have no idea. Another one of these wonderful magazines.
Wow, look at that. Isn't that interesting? Okay, hold on to that, okay? Interesting what you wrote that on. Anyway, we're almost at the end of the hour. In no sense because by the time we let the delay build back up again and all of that stuff. Although we do have a mobile in Broward, that would be great. Hello?
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Okay.
First-time caller. I own a string of video stores, and I've been paying attention to what's been happening in the last few days. Got something very important to say about it. When these type of things happen, censorship, it is, I look at these people as reactionaries.
Yep.
You know, when we rent videos, like what they see, they can turn it off.
Right.
When you listen to your car radio, of all things, in the radio in your house, if you don't like the material, turn it off.
Right. I got 20 seconds.
Okay. When this happens, government, it's almost communism.
You bet. Fascism.
It's fascism, exactly. That's
including when a city of Hallandale wants to censor what's on a radio in the greater community. That's fascism.
That's the next step. Even my mother, when she gets out of line, I tell her, Neil!
That does it.
Stop.
Okay.
On the Steve Kane show the other day, a woman called in. She goes, I listened to Neil, and I noticed that I was developing traits like that, and then I stopped. I didn't want to be an old fart.
You bet. Okay, thanks a lot, pal.
Okay, brother.
Gotta run. Have a good one. Open line in Dade and in Broward, 751-WIOD, 524-WIOD. Have a wonderful life. Here's April with the news on 610 WIOD.
Well, see, when people disrupt your damn show, that's what happens, okay?
Jeez. Sitting here doing a radio show. Now, that was perfect, wasn't it? That was incredible.
It's making the knees shake. All of the old folks up at the mall. They're checking the CDs. No, they never say please. Just waiting for the early bird special to come. Wasting away again in good old Hallandale. Searching for the false teeth they left in a glass. In Hallandale they claim that there's a dark horse to blame, but they know it's their own damn fault. Shoving in line to get the early bird on time. They're pushing just as hard as they can. And once they are seated, they get overheated and start stuffing rolls and sweet and low in their bags. Wasting away again in good old Hallandale. Looking for that long lost fountain of youth. And Hallandale they say that it's a bowl of prunes a day. But for some, an enema in the blues. The old folks don't know the reason why nothing is pleasing. Their muscles ache and their teeth just don't fit. But what does it matter when they call up Neil and chatter? I hate you, Neil, and never listen to your show. They're wasting away again in good old Hallandale. Just to find heart's a Metamucil and a radio. In Hallandale they claim that it's a dark horse to blame. But Neil knows they can't wait for his show. In Hallandale they claim that it's a dark horse to blame. But Neil knows they just can't wait for his show.
Okay, we're back doing a radio show now. 10 minutes after noon at WIOD. There's Mr. Kane, tracer of lost persons, just scouring and trolling for food. No, there isn't any food. This is our Nutri-System.
There is no food.
There is a cookie there, though, one left that Rich has been sneaking on the side. Now, what is that? Is that an important memo from Spike?
Yes, it is. We really do need to have an idea when you're going to take your vacation.
Oh, another one of those. I already told him when I'm taking my vacation.
You did?
Yeah, starting in about 10 minutes. And what is that? Is that more fruit? I'll be damned, boy. We got more fruit in this place than Uncle Charlie's.
By the way, the fax machine is going nuts.
Fax machine is it? Great, fantastic, incredible. Good. Yeah, don't forget that fax number. I'm going to leave. Let's give the fax machine number. He's not paying any attention to what I'm saying. All he cares about is the food.
I know.
Look at this guy. Boy, like he's been starving for years.
Have you not eaten since you were here yesterday?
Anyway, the fax number, if you want to write us a letter to Mike Disney and support us and give us a bit of moral support, 757-7516. We're getting tons of stuff on a fax machine, and that's great. And look at all this fruit. Wow. Are those seedless? Oh, they are seedless. Red ones today. Okay, now who sent these? Larry, our friend Larry? It didn't know it's from Larry. Thanks a lot, Larry. Oh, they do have seeds in them? Well, I'm sure glad Rich got the seeds before I do. You're getting to look a little seedy, too, by the way. Okay, now, those of you on a phone, just cool it for 1 second, okay? But we got kind of distracted there because I had a phone call, which was, not all that exciting. But, you know the way these things are, right? It really wasn't all exciting, but it was okay. Mm-hmm. Pompano Harness is coming into a big weekend, and it's all part of the Silver Anniversary celebration at Pompano Park this Friday night. Pompano is presenting an exciting exhibition that'll please everybody in a family of all ages, especially those kids. The world-famous Cool Muff 1214, we want to thank Larry for the fruit. And everybody's just going nuts over the fruit here at WIOD. That ought to provoke another letter, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's go to Pompano. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to offer my support. Second of all, I'd like to tell you, I already faxed you something on the machine. It was really easy to get through if anybody's wondering how hard it's going to be.
Great. 757-7516.
I know this doesn't have anything to do with the Hallandale people, but I'd like to know what happened to Elvis Jr.
He calls us once in a while.
Once in a while?
EJ, yeah.
Yeah? Well, he's not in your support group, or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Well, I'd like to hear from him if he's out there. So.
Okay, I'm sure he is, man. I bet you ask for him, it's like asking for Paul Harvey Jr. to call in. Just a matter of moments.
I understand. All right, Neil, take it easy, buddy.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
12:15 at WIOD. We have a request. Now we're getting requests for callers. How do you like that? We cut out requesting for songs. Now we're getting requests for callers. If Veggie and Boca's calling in...
Come on, be careful now with that. You got to be careful with that area.
I can't stay mad at the veg. Can you? He just wanted a bumper sticker, that's all. He just wanted us to arrange our lives for his convenience. He's just a big fan. You don't want to hurt his feelings, do you?
He's a Neely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to speak. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Joey is on his way. I don't know whether Joey's walking. What do he do? Have to sell his car? Come on, Joey, get serious, will you? But, you did send him a bumper sticker already, so if the veg calls, that can't be the excuse anymore. I got a great idea. I think we just ought to do this spontaneously, okay? Because it sounds like it makes sense to me. If people will send letters of support to me...
Oh, yeah.
We will send them one of those new, unbelievable Neil Rogers WIOD bumper stickers. How's that sound? That's a good way to get a lot of people off their butt. Because most people want something, you know.
Fine.
We won't send them any tapes.
A bumper sticker. Sure.
And we'll have Rich mail them. And in very tiny Hebrew letters on the back, I'm going to write some really racy stuff, okay? So that's a good idea. Just send your letters and request for the bumper stickers to Neil Rogers, WIOD, Miami 33141. They don't look too bad. They look good, as a matter of fact. They're great.
Blue.
Isn't that a good idea? And Sharon, of course, can fill all the requests. And there's more stuff. What is this? Oh, this is, okay. No, I understand that. Don't panic. Do not panic. But do remember that God loves you, okay? Let's go to a mobile in Palm Beach. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to call and say hi to you and Glenn.
Hi.
Hi. Listen, I wanted to let you know something. I think that people over 173 years old should not be given ATM cards.
Good thinking. Well, they get a little confused, you know. They forget those numbers.
I went to Publix. I just got back from there, and there's this old fart, and he's standing there trying to put his gas card in the ATM machine. I try and tell him that it's not going to work. He calls me a jerk, pushes me away from the ATM machine, and it takes him 27 minutes to figure out what his numbers are, check his account balance, get his money out. I wanted to kill him, Neil, but then I just kept thinking, what would Neil Rogers do? So I calmed down and let him live.
Yeah, I would just go on here and talk about it, just like you're doing, so that's the idea.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay, good luck to you, pal.
Thanks, bye.
1218 at WIOD. We have an open line in Palm Beach, 655-9463, 655-WIOD. Carroll City, hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, Neil. How are you?
Great.
Miss Markster.
Well, we're doing it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is Mr. John Hancock. I'd like to speak to Judy Lichtman.
To who?
Judy Lichtman on Channel 4.
Oh, yeah, Judy Lichtman. Judy's busy in dancing class right now. She's doing a little kazatsky and spinning her dreidel, so she'll be out a little later, pal.
Oh, they have Judy Lick in New York.
Yeah.
Channel 5.
Okay, well, good luck to you, pal. And obviously the radio signals in Carroll City are affecting your brain, okay? Woo!
Great
Good call. Yeah, he was good. I liked him a lot. 1219 at WIOD. Well, when you live under those towers over there, man, it just gets ponderous, you know, gets really ponderous in Carroll City. I wonder which towers those could be, he asked. Let's go to Plantation. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
What's up? I want to speak to Glenn for a minute.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Not a heck of a whole lot.
Okay.
Anyway, I heard some people, like, something about somebody trying to, like, rag on Glenn and all and trying to put him down. And I just want to, like, compliment Glenn on something I heard a few weeks ago when we had the riots down in Miami. A caller called up from California, and he was here for the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Sure, vividly.
Yeah, and Glenn, you're normally a laid-back kind of guy.
That's right. I rarely ever will say something. I save that for when I really mean it.
Yeah, but that was just, I mean, because you just kind of, like, exploded, and that was incredible.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you were right in your assessment of him. He was an asshole, and I was really impressed.
Good. Well, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Neil.
Yeah.
I'm a friend of the friend who caught up who's Mike Anthony's son.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we also went to school with him. And he took, the other guy who called you, he took him down to the station one time and saw you and took him up in the copter with the jet copter. He was a real good guy. He moved to Virginia, I think.
Who's that?
Mike Anthony and his son.
Oh, his son?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name was Corey. He was a good guy.
Great.
Well, we're all going down to Hallandale, too, to the meeting.
Well, I can't wait.
To voice our support.
Yeah, we'll have it catered. We'll have a little party.
Great. All right, take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
20 minutes past noon at WIOD. We have an open line in Broward, 524-9463. 524-WIOD. Here's a call from Hallandale.
Good afternoon, Neil and Glenn.
Yes.
I am a long-time listener and a first-time caller.
Well, I hope this call isn't being traced by Sunny.
No, it's not. Anyway, congratulations on your great free publicity in the Hallandale Digest today. I normally pick it up at the weekend, but I couldn't wait to get it today to see what they had written about you. Anyway, I just wanted to share a story with you. I picked up my 10-year-old daughter yesterday from school, and of course she always misses you, but she likes listening to you on Saturday mornings. And she heard Steve Kane talking about you. And she said, Mummy, what's happened to Neil Rogers? So I told her very, very briefly. And her answer was, well, all they have to do is turn the dial. Now, this is from a 10-year-old kid. So it makes you wonder, you know, what the old people are all about. I mean, I've lived in Hallandale for 7 years, or I should say I have survived in Hallandale for 7 years. And it's pretty sad in a way. You know, I'm hoping to learn a very, very dear lesson for the future. Anyway, another thing I wanted to mention to you, I would be interested to know whether Mr. Thompson's law firm is behind him in all this, or whether he practices on his own.
Oh, on his own, yeah.
Oh, he does.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Well, that
Out of his
explains.
house. Yeah.
And also, it's amazing because the Florida bar has been receiving over the last few months a lot of adverse publicity in their dealings with clients, etc., etc. And I'm surprised that he wants to bring even more attention to colleagues and whoever, in the Florida bar. It doesn't say an awful lot for them,
Yeah,
does
well,
it?
he's bringing a lot of attention to himself, and he really ought to govern himself accordingly. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it's very, very interesting because the law here is very different from England, where I come from, and it will be very interesting to see what happens. But I am totally on your side, and so is my 10-year-old daughter. And I have just about 10 minutes ago mailed a pro-nil letter.
Excellent. We appreciate it.
And I wish you lots and lots of luck.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
And say hi to Sonny for us.
I will do.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 23 minutes past noon at WIOD. We have an open line in Hallandale at 524-9463. 524 Ancient in Hallandale. And, well, she was very nice. There are a lot of nice people in Hallandale, and we send them our sympathy for having to live there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Joey is on the way. Isn't he?
That's what we hear.
That's the popular
We've been hearing
rumor,
this for 2.5
one of
hours.
these minutes, man, he just may show up, okay? Right now, maybe Joey stopped off at Char Hut for a great lunch. 1226 at WIOD, and let's go to Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with the Halloween Hallandale outhouse caper?
I sure am.
Well, in retrospect, perhaps you shouldn't be so hard on these people from Hallandale for getting caught up by this guy Thompson. I mean, that kind of mentality, capering around 60, 70-year-old guy schlepping in an outhouse in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that should tell you.
Tells you something.
Okay. Well said, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. 26 past noon at WIOD. Boy, those grapes are delicious, you know. I'm getting a little choked up. We have an open line in Dade, 751. There it goes. Boca, hello.
Good afternoon, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, I got a solution to that fool in Hallandale's problem, your problem, and my own problem.
Yeah.
A few, maybe it's been a couple years back, I think you made an offer that if somebody gave you like $1 million, you'd get out of the market.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're worth much more than $1 million by now.
Yeah, I'm making a lot more now, so it's up to $2 million, yeah.
Okay, well, there's a big problem to this. Actually, there's two problems. Why don't you make him that offer again? Maybe say, buy out your contract and come up with a couple of $1 million?
Yeah.
The problem is how's he going to raise $2 million in Hallandale?
Well, maybe we could sell discount packs of Sweet and Low. That might do it.
Well, I'm thinking, whatever it takes to get the job done. And when you move out of the market, you have to tell me where you're going so I can move there myself.
Yeah, well, I'd probably keep it a big secret because you never know who else might move along with me, you know.
No. You got to tell everybody where you're moving to because we can just follow you there.
Okay, well, make a long story short, I'm not going anywhere, okay?
Well, for $2 million?
No. Maybe.
Well, doggone, because see
I'd have to see the cash first, okay? When you see it in front of you, then it adds a different dimension.
Yeah,
the old saying, talk is cheap.
Right. The chances are real slim that they could raise $2 million in a town like that.
Yeah.
And then the second problem is I'd want to share too.
Okay.
And then
good luck to you, sir. It's been a great call, but it's getting really ponderous. 1228 at WIOD. We have an open line in Boca, 278-9463. 278 WIOD. And let's go to Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes.
Hello, Neil. Hello, Glenn.
Hi.
Hey, I hear you from time to time, you keep telling people if they don't like your program that you just simply turn it off.
That is correct.
They have other alternatives, but the real truth of the matter is this, Neil, that there are no other worthy programs. You are Mr. Radio.
Well, if that's the case, then, that's the bottom line, sir.
That's
if I'm
right.
Mr. Radio, then they got nothing to complain about.
That's right. And incidentally, you did mention yesterday you wanted to send a box of halava with some X-Lax up to Sunny. I do mention I remember you saying that.
Well, let me put it to you this way. It couldn't hurt.
No, but the idea is this. If you really want to make his eyes stand out of his head, save the halava, send him the X-Lax, cover with chocolate, and mix with a little crazy glue. I think that'll really do the trick.
I was thinking of doing that with my dogs, but, being a great humanitarian, I had a second feelings about it,
Incidentally, on Friday nights when I play a little poker with my friends, I always keep telling the dealer to give me a Neil and a Glenn. And they don't understand what I mean.
Yeah, kidding. King and a queen, yeah.
But no, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. Because when I get my Neil and I get my Glenn, then I say, read them and we boys, I got a pair of aces back to back.
Great. Okay. I thought king and queen would have been cuter. Okay, listen, have a great day. We appreciate it.
You too, Neil.
12:30 at WIOD. We have an opening in Dade and Broward now. We have a little miniature crisis on the phone for the first time all day. In Dade County, 751 WIOD, and in Broward, 524-9463. Now, Rich was getting just a little bit apoplectic because I did say about the bumper stickers. I neglected to mention, please be sure along with your letter. Now, if you send a hate letter, you're not going to get a bumper sticker, okay? It's like those people that send hate letters and then at the end they say, have a nice day. But anyway, along with your letters and the request for the bumper sticker, send a stamped self-addressed envelope, okay? Wouldn't that be nice? And not one of those teeny-weeny little small envelopes because, we could fold a bumper sticker up 17 different ways, but it ain't going to look too good that way, right?
No.
Okay, here's a mobile implantation. Hello.
Hi, Neil?
Yeah.
I enjoy your show.
Okay, great call.
Yeah.
Well, it's a car phone. You want to keep it short and sweet,
to the point.
12:31 at WIOD, and we have another room for another short call here in Broward. 524-9463, Palm Beach. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
You old fart. How you doing? I'm an old fart, and I don't live in Hallandale.
Well, good for you, sir.
I resent the fact that you're abusing these people in Hallandale.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Neil, I'm a first-time caller.
Well, that's obvious, man. I can't follow you for love or money, man.
Well, I enjoy your program very much, and I'm a 62-year-old senior citizen. I enjoy your program, and fortunately, I don't live.
Sir,
in
please don't say you're a senior citizen, okay? You're 62, but that's life,
I'm a 62-year young
yeah,
man.
there you go.
Okay?
Yeah.
And some of these people, they're as old as they feel. I feel as younger than I am, and I enjoy life. And I don't live down in this area. I live in Port St. Lucie, and I live up in the sticks. And like I said, I enjoy your program very much, and keep up the good work, and knock the hell out of some of these guys.
Okay. Have a great day.
Okay, Neil.
Thanks. 12:32 at WIOD. We have an open line in Palm Beach now, which is especially valuable because all the other lines are tied up. So if you're living anywhere outside of Palm Beach, please tie up that line by calling collect 655 WIOD. Especially the mobiles. We get a lot of mobile calls on Palm Beach.
Ton of mobile.
Because they know they can get right through, and then we'll put them right on because I have a soft heart, and the mobile people always, make everybody else wait a lifetime. Miami, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a blue hair observation for you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I work in a grocery store, and you'd be amazed at how many people are actually shopping for the first time in their lives because, to me, they come in there, they're lost. I mean, so many people buy milk for the first time in their life. They'll stand there for 5 minutes and just wonder what this stuff is.
Well, it's a very complex thing to do,
I know, and
grocery shopping?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the first time they ever bought in their life because every time they ask me, where's it at? Where's the milk at? Where's the milk at? It's the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, and then, of course, they go into the meat department and squeeze the meat, which always just drives me nuts.
Right, and then when they get up there, they have a hole in the package from putting their nails through it.
Yeah, put the thumbprint in the meat is little, it's okay if they take it, but then when they leave it,
Oh, yeah, that theory means if you squeeze one, the next one you get is going to be a good one, and you just throw that bad one back.
Is that what it is? That's an interesting philosophy in life. If you squeeze one, the next one you get is going to be a good one. That is definitely words to live by.
And I got one other thing. Sometimes, I go to FIU, and, I listen to Woofy, at least when I'm down there, because that's the only place I can hear it, but they're not all that bad, because that's where I met my girlfriend at.
Really?
Yeah.
She don't have a show on that station, does she?
Yeah, she does, but I keep her in line about knocking you.
Now, what's her name?
Her name's Jackie G.
Oh, well, that's
Jackie G. Well, that's a different story.
Yeah, that's not
her.
Is she related to Judy? Is she related to Judy T? Or
No,
Mr.
but,
Z?
I know the one that did that thing about you, but they don't do that anymore.
They don't?
Well, we hope they clean up their act.
They will.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
Bye.
I don't have yours yet.
Or what? Oh, chicken?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working on it.
Rich looks like he's getting surly about it.
They're eating on the air again. They're struggling.
I bet you're tired of listening to talk on morning radio. I also bet you're tired of listening to fat homosexuals eat on the air. Listen to me, Melina in the morning, every Tuesday from 7 to 10 a.m. on WUFI, 5:30 a.m., University Park, North Miami. I'll wake you up to the best Progressive has to offer.
Yeah. Anyway, it's 12:34 at WIOD. Let me tell you about Toyota of Hollywood if you're in the market for a great new IOD. I'll be darned. 12:38 at WIOD. Let's go to, is this a mobile in Palm Beach? Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
How you
Glenn?
doing? Hi.
Just wanted to call and tell you, I drive back and forth between Palm Beach and Miami every day.
Every day?
Every day.
God.
My office is up there, and most of my business is down in Miami. And if it wouldn't be for you guys and Steve, I'd never make it, especially during the traffic jams on I-95.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if anybody's told you about a pair of signs that we've got in Palm Beach on the Turnpike. You're heading north going towards Palm Beach, West Palm. They got one sign that says West Palm Beach 7 miles, Orlando 162. 5 feet behind it, there's another sign that says West Palm Beach 11 miles, Orlando 170.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, man. They're right on top of it.
I figured maybe the town moved, so they just, they have two signs.
Yeah, just in case it ever does.
Right.
Okay.
Well, you guys have a great day, and take care, and as soon as I get back to the office, I'll be faxing a letter out to you.
Thanks a million. Appreciate it.
Sure. Bye-bye now.
Okay, we're getting tons of good stuff on the fax machine. That was a great idea that I had, if I do say so myself. Piles
of stuff.
Now, when you're talking about Hallandale, don't go saying piles in the same breath, okay? It's very tasteless. 757-7516 is that number for the fax machine for all you suits out there that have fax machines now. I guess a lot of people, especially businesses, have got them.
Oh, sure.
757-7516.
I like when you get
Sharon is just racing in here with the fax machine stuff. I told you we'd keep her busy somehow, Look at that. Incredible.
I guess we really can't get Larry King in to record that number. That would be excellent. Larry Kent, I mean.
Here's a question for the bird. How do you feel about Donna Dixon? Who is that?
Not my type.
Who is that?
Movie
star. Is that Dave Dixon's sister?
Movie star.
And it says, by the way, do you guys walk around like they did in talk radio during the show? Yes, we do, as a matter of fact. They put us on a leash so we can only get as far as the door. Let's go to Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say that we supported you, and we had a letter out Tuesday.
Thank you.
To support you. And one thing I wanted to remind you of that, I listen to you most every day. Some days when I have to go out, I put you on a tape. And one day about 3 weeks ago, you had a real hilarious story about the Hallandale Commission with a guy named Friedman with his dock and all that.
Yeah, the dock that was 6 inches too long or something?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had to leave right in the middle of that, and I stayed until the last minute, and I taped it. And I just happened to listen to that tape again this morning, and I said, you have to remind you about that.
Yeah.
Because you hadn't mentioned it. And it was a real funny story about something about his dock being a couple inches too big, and he was in front of the commission, and they first approved it, and then they rescinded the permit and all that, and he was in all kinds of trouble, and they were calling each other names.
Yeah.
Do you remember that story?
Sure. How could you forget it?
Yeah, and I was just wondering that, if you contacted that guy or whoever he is, I forgot what the names were, but if you contacted that guy for to go down with you, he has the same harassment problem as everybody else that goes down in front of that commission.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they got no real problems over there in Hallandale. That's probably a great PR thing for them, for the Chamber of Commerce over there, because when you live in a city that only has time for stuff like this, they must have everything under control.
Yeah, you said it. Well, okay, I just want to remind you about that because I noticed it was so close to, not exactly like your story, but, just another problem with that commission that everybody seems to be having. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. Okay.
Good luck to you, pal.
Have a good time.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
It's 12:42 at WIOD. We have an open line in Dade County at 751 WIOD. Don't forget, Steve this afternoon has a program on pornography and Ted Bundy. And, of course, almost everybody in the world now has seen that tape, that ridiculous, contrived tape about Ted Bundy and all these, he always had to have somebody else to blame for everything that he did. Anyway, the three guests on the panel will be Sue the Censor.
No, that's Sue, S-U-E.
Sue the Censor.
The Censor, yeah.
Oh, Sue, the Censor. Yeah. Fred Schatz, sex expert, probably has seen more pornography than almost anybody in the world, even Steve. And Norman Kent, who, of course, we know well, okay? Who is an attorney who defends First Amendment situations, just like the one we're talking about. Hallandale, hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
I want to call and tell you that I really support you. I'm from Los Angeles, and I'm here on a work release for 5 months. And I think you and Glenn are fantastic. The best radio I've ever heard.
Well, if you're from L.A., that's probably true. They got some pretty boring stuff out there.
Yeah, KNX, it's just all talk and no good talk.
Right. Yeah, and all those boring people on KABC.
I went to the City of Hallandale offices this morning to do some business, and I saw a brand new blue vet in there. So the blue hairs are driving blue vets now.
Yeah.
And then I picked up that Hallandale Tatler. That newspaper.
Digest, yeah.
The Hallandale Digest. Not to be confused with the Hollywood Sun Tatler.
I know.
So you get these big papers, man, in the big cities, and they like blend together. It's confusing.
But that they're really ripping you apart. I mean, that is taking the First Amendment the way you should be taking the First Amendment.
Yeah.
If they can do it and belittle other people, I can't see why you can't do it and be a wonderful jokester about it all.
Well, we are. That's the amazing part, and we're going to continue to do it. And those people who think that they're going to, single-handedly dictate what we can say, they got a real surprise coming. They can write all the cute little letters and all the cute articles that they want, but they got a real surprise. Hitler died 44 years ago, okay?
Being from a wide open place like Los Angeles and San Francisco, coming here to this closed-minded...
Yeah, it's a culture shock. You may want to reconsider, my friend.
Well, it's the money...
Although, at least when you live here, you can see the sun. When you're in L.A., you know it's up there, but you never see it. At least here you see it.
You see it, and boy, it takes a long time to get to the sun, though, because these people drive so slow.
Yeah.
There's, and everybody is either from back east and 150 years old or from a foreign country that I can't understand yet.
Right. Well, that's the idea. That's why it makes for good communication. Well, listen, it's great hearing from you. You have a good one. And after a couple of more years, you'll really hate it, okay?
Okay, Neil.
Okay, thanks. 1245 at WIOD. We have an open line in Broward, 524-9463. 524 WIOD. Boy, look at this. Sharon is just a busy, busy child today with these fax machine notes. Joey, when is Joey coming? Like a week from Sukkot? Joey probably went to Zeta. Huh? It's probably, somebody please pick up Joey out there on the I-95. Because Joey probably had to sell his car or something. But these letters are great.
And other things they've sent us are great. Little cute little cuties they've sent us too today. Really enjoyed.
Don't go reading this on here, but this little cartoon, it's a 2-part cartoon that you'll really get a great chuckle out of. That fax machine, man. Wow. Okay, let's see. What are we doing? We have an opening in Broward, 524 WIOD. We'll go to Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Great.
I want to tell you something. This is my philosophy about the people in Hallandale and the difference between the old people in Miami Beach.
Yes.
The people in Miami Beach are educated. They know how to turn a dial.
You may be right.
People in Hallandale don't. And the little flaming fagula down there has them brainwashed that they can't turn it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to send you a letter addressed to him.
Well, maybe Sonny still has one of those old, what did they call those radios with the crystal set?
Yeah.
That only tunes in one station.
Well, I'm going to send you a letter to send to him, and I hope there's no restriction on what we can say.
Not as long as we got anything to do about it.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
1246 at WIOD. We have an open line in Dade, 751 WIOD, 751-9463. By the way, our attorney friend thinks that I called him a flaming fagula, or so he alleges in something I just saw. Haven't done that at any point. My reference to that is always to Sunny Rosenberg, the mayor of Hallandale. And the only reason I say that is to remind the audience that he used that line about me 2 years ago, which is a totally bigoted and disgusting homophobic remark. And for the mayor for a public official in any city to be making that comment is just reprehensible. But that should give you an idea of his mentality and where he's coming from. So if there are, God forbid, any gay people who live in Hallandale, you might want to check around and move out, okay? Because obviously the mayor of your city has got some serious problems with homophobia.
Serious.
Look at that. The staff at Miami International Airport.
Great.
Okay, the phones will be ringing over there at Miami International any minute now, so govern yourselves accordingly. Let's take our break here now, and that'll give us a little time for some of these calls when we come back. It's 12:47 at WIOD.
I'll turn on Neil Rogers. Hold it right there, pal. Don't touch that dial. Oh, my God. It's Sunny.
It's Hallandale Vice 2. Sunny's Revenge.
Yeah, it looks like we got him. Thanks for the tip, Mrs. Aquacoit.
You're welcome, Sonny. I mean, I knew he was a sicko when I rented him the place. I mean, look at this. He even had this filth he was looking at.
My God. It's the Ted Bundy pictures. Looks like we stopped another future mass murderer Neil scumbag moron.
The streets of Hallandale are safe again, thanks to you, Sonny.
Just doing my job, Mrs. Aquacoit. By the way, I'm going to need your name and phone number. We contact you later.
Let me get you my card. Oops, I dropped my purse.
Say, what's that fell out of your purse?
12:52 at WIOD. Let's go to Lauderhill. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are ya?
Great.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Well, isn't that something?
Never had enough courage to call. I wanted to call and pledge my support.
Great.
And all my friends listen to you. My kids listen to you. And they're young. They're under 5. Woo. And they love your show. And I just wanted to make a point. These people in Hallandale who are against you, there's so many other causes to get involved with worthwhile. The homeless, you know, I mean, even the little kid that was being kicked out of the condominium. Why don't they spend their time doing something worthwhile?
Well, because the small group of individuals you're talking about are a bunch of hateful, malicious, nasty, bitter people who, you know, who are the stereotype of the things we talk about here all the time.
Yeah.
And because they relate to it and they understand it, that's why it hits a raw nerve with them, because they can't stand the exposure.
I guess that's what it is. But anyway, I wanted to let you know that you have a lot of supporters out there, and I wanted to call my friends Tommy and Lori Wager douchebags.
Okay. I'll second that motion.
I'm going to be sending in some support by mail as well.
Thanks a million. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
12:54 at WIOD.
This was handed to me. You should read this, and you won't understand it at first until you get down in it a while. Why don't you read it out loud?
Baby Bush.
Yeah.
Meet the latest addition to the Bush clan. Ashley Walker Bush is the president's newest grandchild, born on Tuesday to Sharon and Neil Bush in Denver.
Sharon and Neil. That's cute. Yeah. Well, there are no coincidences.
Neil Bush is the president's son. Yeah, look at the look on his face. Like, isn't this astonishing? It's shocking. We were expecting a baby fawn. Oh, boy. Well, that Bush family, they're pretty entertaining, you know. And I'm telling you, you mark my words, he's going to be more amusing than Jerry Ford. He really is. Miami, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How's it going, buddy?
Terrific, pal.
Hey, all right. I just want to let you know that we're all standing behind you in support, so to speak.
Every time I turn around, I see all these people like several yards behind.
Not that close.
Okay.
Did you read the article in the Hallandale Digest today?
We sure did. We read parts of it on the air.
Yeah, I liked the one that said the city's crusade against Rogers eventually died a natural death.
Because of a lack of support, according to the Ayatollah in Tendola.
What's his problem, that guy?
Well, I think lack of common sense, lack of any, you know, since they can't do anything positive about the real problems over there, they have to make a lot of tsimis about this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Right? Tell me, this, also Thompson said that it's not a vendetta against you, not a personal vendetta?
Oh, yeah.
How long has this been going on with him?
Only 19 months. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nothing serious.
Nothing important. It's just, you know, something in his spare time.
It's funny, I manage a condo just south of the Dade-Broward line in the Aventura area. And we've got some very nice elderly people, and we get along just wonderfully.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are a lot of them out there. I'd say even maybe 30-40% of our senior citizens are reasonable, rational people who, feel a lot younger than their real age, and that's great.
Yeah, it's just...
But then we have that other gigantic, and I have to take exception with one thing Steve said yesterday. He said it's just a small handful of these people. It's not true at all. There are gigantic numbers of people out there whose behavior in restaurants and supermarkets, on a highway, everywhere they go is just absolutely socially unacceptable.
We have a few that are just sourpusses, but I think those people have been sourpusses all their life.
Yeah, they were prunes when they were 15 and 20. You bet.
All right, Neil, you hang in there, buddy.
We're hanging.
We love you.
Thanks.
Bye.
12:56 at WIOD, and we have a little crisis on the phone. Not a major one. We got a couple of open lines. That's a little crisis, wouldn't you say?
Palm Beach?
Well, Palm Beach, of course. One in Broward. Now there goes Beta's ringing. One in Broward, 524 WIOD. Boy, that fruit is really coming back strong, but it was good. Thanks, Larry. The fruit was great. What is in it? Is that grapefruits or oranges or what? Wow. Oh, yeah, and Linda and Susan are going to be here at 2 o'clock. I almost forgot about that with Nutrisystem. Okay, and the Palm Beach line is also wide open, man. I know that comes as a great shock to you. That's the only way to get through as I speak right now. 655-9463. 655-WIOD. Are we talking loud enough for you in Palm Beach? Miami, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
One of the things I think the problem might be with these old farts, the reason they don't turn their dial is they're afraid they're going to miss something hysterically funny.
Yeah.
They can't turn it off, which is true, because, you say something that's going to offend them, but it's hysterically funny anyway.
By the way, I just got you're going to love this. Nick just gave me a note on the screen. It says he's getting some calls from older people who hate me, then they crank Nick and they hang up. They don't have the guts to stay on the line and make fools of themselves on the air, so they're harassing him on the phone. Now, if they hate me, seriously, if they hate me and they're that obnoxious, then how come they're still listening right now?
Because they're obnoxious.
Exactly.
That's a great term for
We're giving them fodder for their lives. In other words, this is what their whole lives are about, our bitterness and hate and being nasty and rotten and trying to spread it around. And so we're obviously, because they hate it so much, we're doing a public service for them.
Yeah, I was listening to Steve yesterday and listening to some people call up trying to give some kind of point why they didn't like you.
Yeah.
And they couldn't back anything that they were saying.
Yeah. Well, every time he kept asking a question, they would go on to something else, total non sequitur. They couldn't answer the question.
Right. It's more or less the why don't you like Neil?
Yeah.
And their answer was because.
Because the sun is in the sky.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, you have a good one now.
You too.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we got a celebrity caller on line 6 and a mobile.
Hey, Neil, it's Cox.
No kidding.
I was just thinking about something.
Well, that's a first.
Yeah, right. I think you ought to put this guy... Hi, Bird.
Hey, Cox.
I think Neil ought to put this guy Thompson on retainer, man. This is the greatest book promotion I've ever heard about.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you one thing. If you want to go through 19 months of harassment and grief to get the numbers, good luck to you. In fact, maybe you'd like him, huh?
No,
maybe we could arrange that for you. You guys do some
Neil,
pretty raunchy stuff there in the morning.
I have my own detractors, thanks.
Oh, do you really? That's not what I heard.
But you know what I did? I did call the city commission of Hallandale. I called that number you gave out the other day.
Yeah.
And told them who I was and told them that I thought that if they could do it to you, I was afraid they'd do it to me, so back off.
You're next, babe.
I don't do anything, Neil. I'm a quiet, calm guy.
Yeah. Yeah, we've heard those spots of yours. Yeah, real quiet.
From Cumming, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Good night, Cox.
Good night, Neil. Good
Have
night,
a great
Bird.
life. Okay, there he goes. Okay, we have an open line where Don Cox just hung up, if you're real brave, at 524-WIOD in Broward, 524-9463, April of Wortham. See, one thing at WIOD, it may be February to some, but it's always April here, and she's got that 1 o'clock WIOD news. We'll come back at 1:05.
Or 655 and 278 WIOD in the Palm Beaches. Other areas may call collect. The opinions expressed by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily those of the station. Now, here's Neil Rogers on News Talk Radio 610 WIOD.
I know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
105 at WIOD. Now, that Palm Beach line is open, so if you're anywhere except in Palm Beach, get right on the horn now. 655 WIOD. 655.
You don't have to say that. You
What?
don't have to say except Palm. Except Palm Beach. That's
Now, what happened to Joey? I don't understand. Is we've been building this thing up all day since early in the show, and he just shined us so far, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm amazed.
I don't understand something. That machine is dying now, that middle deck.
Almost dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The middle deck is dying. You might want to make a note of that. We'll just avoid using it. It's dead. Okay, kind of like Joey's show. Okay, 106 now. Let's go back to the calls while we await with bated breath the arrival of Joey. Yeah, it's amazing. This is a hard guy to pin down. He leaves his number, and every time we've called, I get his answering machine. Sharon gets the answering machine. It's like you just can't find him. The invisible man.
Well, that means he's out.
He's invisible on your radio dial, and he's invisible in the community, too. And, like, in Plantation, I know he's got a house in Plantation, and I live there. I keep running up and down the streets, Joey! And I can't find a son of a gun. I don't know where the hell he is. Miami, hello.
Hi, Neil. Hi,
yes.
Bird.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Yeah, listen, I'm here in Baptist Hospital right now. I just had surgery on Monday. And I was just calling because I don't have a radio, and I just wanted to hang on to the phone and listen to you guys because you guys are cheering me up.
Oh.
I was the one, you probably remember me. I'm the one that told you the way Joe Z really feels about you a long time ago. And I knew your mother.
What?
Remember when you first started, and I asked Joe Zagacki what he really thought about you?
Oh, Joe Zagacki. I thought you were talking about another Joe Z.
No, remember? And I used to work with your mom a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm over here at Baptist. I just had surgery. I'm just kind of listening to the...
Well, what do you want? You want to go back on hold?
Yeah, I just want to listen.
Okay, hold on. Hey, good luck.
Okay.
Okay. Incredible. 107, we have an open line in Broward now, 524-9463. We got a mobile in Palm Beach. Hello.
This is Alan Burke. Who are you?
Finally, a good tape.
Now, wait a minute. Maybe that wasn't a tape. Maybe that was him. Oh, gee, I shouldn't have done that. You know, maybe that was really him. You think so? It sounded like a tape to me.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Was it him? Was it
No,
tape?
tape.
I would be crushed if it turns out that was really him.
Wonderful call. No.
Well, listen, he left a real mark, an indelible mark on this station, I'll tell you that. In fact, that's why they brought these new chairs in today, okay? Okay, let's go to Delray. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Yeah.
Do you think I'll be on Saturday? On the greatest hits. Best of Neil.
Oh, I don't have any idea. We're not taping this hour. No chance, pal. So don't waste any good material. This show's only a one-time deal.
Hey, can you put me back on hold?
Okay, good. Hey, let's just leave everybody on hold, okay, so they can hear the show. These must be people with frozen radio dials. Boy, look at that. Since that Alan Burke call, like 3 lines just dropped off at the same time, simultaneously. I'm serious. Look at that. The phone is like clearing out now. Plus, when they heard that Joey might show up this hour, that was probably good for 2 of those lines anyway. Okay, let's go to Fort Lauderdale. Hello. Okay, there's 4. Isn't it amazing that we go through 3 hours? Everything was just like...
Well, this is the big 1 to 2
hour. Oh, that's true. This is the big 1 to 2 hour. Yeah. Everything was just great. And now all of a sudden it's like we ran into a brick wall. It is so typical in this town, I'll tell you. There's an open line in Broward, 524-WIOD, and lots of other ones are flashing. Don't get too carried away. Miami, hello.
Good gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I'm not calling too much to talk on the topic because it's kind of like arguing for child abuse. I mean, for what this guy's doing is wrong, and I think everyone's seen that. I don't think you've gotten too many positive comments on his side.
We haven't gotten any on this show. Steve got a couple, but that's about it.
But I think, as listening the last couple of days, I've heard a lot of it been relayed on freedom of speech, and it seems more like persecution here than trying to change the content of your show. It doesn't seem like anyone's really trying to say Neil should take this out or this or put this in or something like that. They're just saying get rid of Neil, and it hasn't been the case for the last 2 years.
No, he objects to peace by no matter what we do, no matter whether it's music or anything. And then of course if we take it out, then he finds 10 new things that he objects to. So the bottom line is he wants to get me off, and he continues denying that. But I mean, anybody who's got an IQ of over 2 who looks at the pattern of the things that have been done and how malicious they are could come to no other conclusion. Believe me.
Well, I got to tell you, you're lucky. I got to tell you that I feel like you're lucky to have the support you've got at this station, because recently I went to something along the same lines, not to the extent you are, and allegations were made, and I was removed from a position, completely unfounded allegations, and inflammatory and slanderous.
Oh my God!
And what I'm trying to find out is where the allegations of, I've heard you say that they said you were trying to pick up boys and everything.
Oh yeah.
But was any of that ever published in the paper?
Oh my God! Joey just kissed me. Now watch that, Joey. Might fall out. What's that?
Was any of those allegations ever published in a print magazine or the Herald?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
See, because one of the local papers caught hold of my story and published it, and they were unfounded, and they didn't even try to contact either of the parties involved.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if there's any recourse or if you...
Get yourself a good lawyer, pal. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, because basically I'm not going to be able to work in Dade County.
Well,
because of that.
get a good lawyer and sue their ass, okay?
Okay, Neil. Thanks a lot.
Okay, good luck. 12 minutes after 1, I just received a kiss on the cheek. Thank God it wasn't on the lips from Joey Reynolds. And that is shocking, okay?
Yeah, who would have ever dreamed?
Don't you think it's time? Okay, now we got to do a break. So look at that. He's got all kinds of filthy stuff he just brought in here. This ain't the Mort Downey Jr. show, okay? This is just a very low-key family show. You putz.
Where's the food? Where's the food?
Can I do a break here? Look at that. That's all you came for is lunch, right? These radio people are all the same, man. All they come in for is free grub.
I wanted the food you had yesterday.
Speaking of a grub, man, look at this guy, okay? Look
What's
at
that Italian stuff?
What is that, a Tommy Shannon outfit you're wearing, or what?
You better tell everybody what you're talking about.
Okay. All right, can I do the break, please? I want you to try to control
Can I ask
yourself.
my permission?
I know you haven't been on a big-time show in a long time, but including that last one you were on. But anyway, if you're thinking about what to do for Valentine's... No! Come on, Joey.
Burn, baby. Joey.
What, does this bring back memories?
Yeah, when you were a kid.
Yeah, when I was like about 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah, right.
Listening to WKBW in Buffalo. And Joey at that time was about 50 or 60. And it was incredible.
There's an article about me in the Philadelphia paper today, and it says I'm 48. But I was 46 3 years ago.
And my name is Moshe Pupik, too. And Jerry Williams is 39 tomorrow, by the way. Happy birthday, Jerry.
How old are you, Neil?
46.
Are you really?
Just a child.
I can't be older than you.
Really?
I'm in better shape.
Are you?
I think so.
Listen, almost anybody's in better shape. Even in Hallandale are in better shape.
Oh, yeah. What? You started all this stuff anyway. You know, you're talking about it, but you started the problem. I mean, you shouldn't pick on the old people about 8 years ago.
I know. I apologize for everything that I've said, even though it's all true, okay?
Now, what is this? Old farts?
Old farts.
Yeah.
And douchebags.
Oh, that's
and
real
lung
nice.
brains.
Nice talk. Now, did your mother listen
Let me
to
tell
this?
you something, Joey. When it comes to, you want me to play the album on the air and just
No, don't
give you
play that
all the credit? All in his voice, too. Some of the foulest, most vulgar, grotesque, and it's great, too, by the way.
Neil, I love you. And I have gone on
You're
record.
not my type, Joey.
I've gone on, well, I could be. I've gone on record saying that
things are that tough, huh?
I've gone on record, yeah, my wife's at aerobics. You know what that is? That's another disease. You can't get near them. I've joined the AA, the Aerobics Anonymous. Don't get me off on this. Now, I want to talk to you
never
about
had good material like this when you were doing that show?
Maybe that's why I don't have a show right
that could be. I heard that show, by the way.
You never heard my show. You used to listen to me in Buffalo when you were a kid, right?
Oh, those were the good old days, yeah.
And you were in Batavia.
When you had material.
All right, now
and I was in Batavia, and you were in Buffalo,
and
right?
And of course, my biggest
And he had these big ratings because it was the only station you could hear at night in the whole state, in upstate.
We covered, AM it was AM's heyday.
Yeah,
well,
that's correct.
We shouldn't talk that way. Right now is AM's resurgence heyday, right?
Yeah. In this market, yeah.
All right, now,
Thanks
you used
to
to
this
listen
show.
to me on the air. Did I ever talk this way on the air?
Like what?
Douchebag and
no, but that was like 100 years ago.
Didn't I teach you anything?
They didn't even have douchebags when you were on the air in Buffalo.
Yes,
they never
did.
even invented them yet.
The guy who
maybe
never
a little
mind.
enema bag.
No, but you know, I mean, I never. I
Tommy
was trying
Shannon
to be
and Dan Never. Now, didn't a tear come to your eye when that station went? What did they do? Go automated or something?
Well, the interesting thing is WKBW was known as well-known Bible witness, is what the call letters were.
What was it?
Well-known Bible witness, WKBW.
Bible witness?
Yeah.
I never heard that.
That's right. And
sounds like WLAC.
No, I was at WIBG in Philly, which is I Believe in God.
What does that have to do with what I'm talking about?
They've gone religious
because
they want to
Joey's
make
problem.
money.
Now, you want to know why Joey's not on the air anymore? These non sequiturs, man. You should be a professional caller. You and Lee Fowler. In fact, you and I had a couple of really good calls there.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Lee
Including
Fowler,
the one that said, I hope you beat me in the ratings. You're better than I am. Now, did they get upset about that when I was playing that every morning?
For some reason, they did get upset about it, although I thought it was great.
It was funny.
Because, see, I like promotion. I think, you know.
Well, I give you all the promotion in the world, believe me.
I know you tried.
And
you
that's
really
Tenaglia, man. He's got a sense of humor that can't be beat, doesn't he?
No, he's my friend. Don't pick on him.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's really been my friend. Through all of this stuff, I came down here because of him.
Did you?
Yeah, and I left here because of him. I'm not going to be able to work in this market.
So it's like
again,
a washout.
Thanks
Why?
to you, because you beat my ass in the ratings, and I've never been able to recover since. It's like, you know, I guess.
Oh, boy, listen to this sobster. Well, I'm not doing mornings anymore. It's a wide open field over there.
No, I talked to that jaboni over
Got to
there.
go over and talk to a Rose Folger, man. They got some real trouble. That colonel, oh, my God. It's a good thing they're not defending the country, that army, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I understand they're going to have
We're going to be speaking Japanese any minute.
They're going to have a Creedence Clearwater weekend.
So anyway, wasn't it a sad moment for you? And Jim Morrison's coming back too. A sad moment for you when that station went. Will you shut up a minute? Why
would I shut up? I came here to talk.
When that station in Buffalo, it was so dominant, man. It was such a monster. And of course, that's because Joey was working there. Was a monster. And they went automated or something. It's like they just. I don't understand that.
Well, AM
and when
died.
you go back up there, like in Rochester, WHAM, which used to be this big, boring, but a big AM station, they're playing oldies and stuff now.
All right, let me get a word in edgewise here for a second.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Listen.
This will be
I'll eat my fruit if you pardon that expression.
Neil, if you could only listen for a minute. Just listen for a minute. Just 1 second. I tried to teach you.
Okay.
All right, thank you. When I was a kid, when I first started in radio, when I was a kid, my reasons for getting into radio were because I was a poor kid and I was the last white family in all black neighborhood. My family was. We wanted to get out of there. We had no money.
Why did you want to get out of there?
Because
were you racist
I hated poverty. I hated poverty.
You were racist. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I wanted to get out of the neighborhood we were in. We had nothing. We had a $30 a month cold water flat. So the best way that I could express myself was to go to the boys' club, play basketball.
Go to the boys' club?
Yeah, and they had a...
What is this, like an announcement we have coming today or something?
I saw you hanging around the playground there. I was on the PA system.
Boy, I know who you've been talking to.
Now listen to me, all right? When I first got into radio, the reasons for radio were to serve the public and to have fun with the public. We were trying to entertain folks. The next level came up. We were trying to entertain the owners so that we'd get the good jobs. Then the next level that came up, we were entertaining the sponsors so we would get some national business. Now we're entertaining banks. And radio has really come from what I said when it was a mom and pop store.
Do you understand what he's talking about?
Not
Go
really.
ahead.
No.
The evolution of radio. It's gotten to be a scientific game. It used to be an art. Now it's a science. That's all I'm saying. They got everything figured out.
A lot of radio.
Yeah.
They got everything figured out?
A lot of radio.
If you've heard the radio in this market, I got news for you. They ain't got nothing figured out.
All right. Now
there is
so
much bad radio in this town.
That's because no one's dealing with the dynamic. The dynamic is that we have my name is Pinto, my real name.
No kidding.
It's an Hispanic name. So I came to work here. I was Larry King's newsman.
I thought you were Italian.
Well, I am Italian. But what
does that mean? See, now he's trying to get on with WQBA, okay?
No,
I mean, this guy, you talk about trolling for a job. It's a Hispanic name. Next he's going to start doing little Spanish jokes.
You were Larry Kent's newsman?
Larry King.
Larry King's newsman.
Yes. And I was at Whammy in Miami, WAME.
Whammy in Miami.
When you were just a kid, you were at CAT, WKAT. Isn't that right, Neil?
Right.
So I was, what is he doing now? The Twilight Zone music?
Esta es el show de la mañana con Neil Rogers. Esta es su cerebro. ¿Tienes preguntas?
Now, are you going to be cooking up any buffalo chicken wings for us today, Joey?
No, I did that over at Macy's, thank you.
Well, you did it for
Aventura
Don
Mall.
Webb, you know. And,
Okay, now where were we? You were giving us this exciting story, the evolution of radio with Joey Reynolds. Go ahead.
Yes.
I didn't realize. Now, why didn't you come in earlier?
What do you
because
mean?
The evolution of radio could have killed the whole 4 hours.
I figured the last hour, let's at least kill the lead in.
We could have talked about Alan. Oh, now, come on. Be nice to Steve. He says
hot
nice
again.
things about you.
You made him hot again. See, now the guy was dying here until you got here. That's the truth. What did he have? Paul Harvey and what else? And the other three?
And Paul Lyle.
There's Paul Lyle,
And
Paul
they had a couple
Harvey.
of board ops, did some shows here. It was good.
And Alan Burke, who
who died
he's
20
still
years
mad.
ago and nobody talked to him.
Well, I think his juices got flowing again when he saw Mort and Donnie make a success, because that was kind of his act, like a Joe Pine thing. Although Mort does it
Kind
well,
of his act. Yeah, Mort. At least, see, Mort's alive. That makes a big difference.
Mort's my friend, I was
Yeah, Mort's
roommates with him.
alive.
We lived together.
Doc.
He's straight, though.
No kidding.
Well, I thought you'd like to know
No
that.
kidding.
I mean, he doesn't have a homosexual.
Now, do you call him Doc?
Yeah, I call him Doc.
Uh-huh.
You know why?
Why?
Because his initials are MD.
Morton Downey.
But that was his name here, wasn't it, on the air?
Doc Downey.
Yeah,
That's
Doc
why
Downey.
we call him Doc, yeah.
Oh,
So
good
he
man.
wasn't here. He was in Orlando.
What is this
No,
man
he
talking
was
about?
here.
He has gone from WKBW in Buffalo to the evolutionary, to science, science fiction, I think is what we're talking about. God, you are hard to follow.
Like an S-hole weekend.
You
isn't it?
really are, man. I'll tell you. You feel like you've dropped some heavy-duty acid or something when you're listening to this guy. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Neil, if you don't
you're
like
right
what
at
I'm
Alan
saying-
Freed. I love what you're saying. We're at Alan Freed.
Take calls from Palm Beach.
No. Go ahead. Alan Freed.
Alan Freed was a disc jockey who years ago took payola and confessed to it.
And Peter Tribb at WMGR WMGM.
He never confessed to it, but he did take payola.
Do you know that Love is Strange by Mickey and Sylvia, 1956, the record was #1 and it wasn't in the record stores yet? I mean, at least if you're going to take some money, give it a few days. No, sir, that's a true story, and that was Peter Tripp, the curly-headed kid in the third row at WMGM as a kid growing up, and I mean just a very, very young child. I was listening to WMGM with a big signal in the evening out of New York in Rochester, and he had some problems.
No, you do.
Now, what about Stan Roberts?
You're the best.
I am
really
the best.
You are.
And my ratings were better than yours, but that's beside the point.
They were twice as good as mine.
So was the test pattern. But anyway, well, look, you were on an impossible shit. Let's make some good alibis. He was, on a station that just isn't making it. Talk about dead.
Well, it's
and I know
coming
Tenaglia
back
is your
now.
pal. Is it coming back?
Yeah. She is making a turnaround. At least it's coming back to what they originally stood for. Listen, let's put it this way. Radio's in the record business, all right? Except for these talk instances, this happens to be one.
Now, can we do another break now? Because we got a lot of business on this station. This isn't some, podunk. This isn't like being on Zeta.
This is not free food in Gulfstream.
That is correct.
Okay.
Although, if you like some fruit, we got a lot of fruit
And
in
then
this
we'll come back and talk about more upstate New York radio.
Yeah.
No, we can talk about other things. I'm worldly.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. He's been everywhere, man. This guy's like a
28 cities.
walking road map.
Yeah.
It's 1:25 at WIOD. Joey is with us today, and we'll come right back.
There comes a time in every person's life when they have to decide where to order pizza. I know you're thinking, come on, what's the big deal? A pizza's a pizza. Wrong. All pizzas are not created equal. At Miami Pizza, every pizza is handmade, custom ordered just like you like it. With the freshest ingredients and the personal attention you won't find at the so-called fast food. WIOD.
I'm getting to hate this.
What a show.
Now, you're going to be astonished when I tell you this. Did you ever hear me play Wild Weekend by the Rockin' Rebels?
No. Yeah, I've heard you play that. Yes, I have.
On Swan Records?
Yeah. Well, my manager was Tony Mammarella, who owns Swan Records.
Okay, I ran into one of these kids in Buffalo, and he was playing in a bar in some obscure place, and he told me the whole thing about you and Tommy Shannon and Wild Weekend. It was incredible, and that record was re-released I don't know how many times and sold over 1 million copies.
It didn't.
And that was Tom Shannon's.
Never sold 1 million.
Yeah, he said it sold 10 copies, okay?
Sold 2 boxes. One of them in my basement.
Do you?
Yes, that never sold.
But anyway, so to make a long story short, Guy sends us a copy of this from XYZ? And I remember, you see, you don't realize this, I was in Michigan, and I think I may have been living in Detroit, I'm not sure, when you were at WXYZ.
Is that when the brain damage happened to you?
No, to you. I heard those shows, okay? What do you like about Keener? Is that sexy news jingle? Is that what you kids like?
That's my voice is an octave higher before I went to work for Wayne Newton.
And Lee Allen was on the air over there. And Joel Sebastian, may he rest in peace.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
And those were the great days in Detroit radio.
These are great days. Neil, you're a star. You're a star.
But nobody wants to hear
you're like
you
Rosanna
tinkle
Barrow. All you do is
all
Sit
They
down
want
and
to talk
enjoy it.
about the great golden
these are
days
great
of Detroit
days.
and Buffalo.
Look at what you've
Of course,
done here.
Buffalo never had any
You helped
golden
Steve Kay make a comeback. Who the hell could get Stan Major to work again? I mean, you're the only
That's a good
person
question.
in the world.
It ain't working too well now, I'll tell you that.
You'll probably be responsible for my career upsurgence, which I hope I have.
Is that why you're here today, Joe?
Yeah, I gotta have.
Don't hold your breath.
I gotta have a little profile here. How come I can't work in this market? What did I
don't
do?
know.
Did I commit a heinous crime by not having numbers?
Yes.
I feel like Dustin Hoffman. I had my Tootsie, and now I'm living with my Ishtar, and I'm waiting for my Rain Man. If I get that, I'll be
Boy,
in.
now, there's a metaphorical comparison like I have
He's
never
incredible,
heard.
Isn't he?
I'm a wonderful actor, yes. Is that what you meant?
So anyway, tell us about, because the real purpose of your being here, in spite of all this other
It's to look for a
preliminary
job.
BS.
I
no,
need a job.
Is that the purpose? I thought
really
you were
need
plugging
one.
the Mort Downey show.
I want to come over.
Now, when are you going to get on Mort? Was a former roommate of yours.
I'm on tonight.
I have a
You are
personal
on
tape.
tonight.
Will you just relax?
Who,
I
the
have
bird? Don't you talk to the bird that way. He's my
Screw
idol.
the bird, okay? He could be gone in 2 seconds. In fact, now maybe, how would you feel sitting over there? Yeah, not
You're
too
right.
bad, huh?
You're right. I could be like Howard Stern's Robin.
Yeah. You look a little like Robin. Anyway, now when are you going to get me on with Mort Downey?
Neil, when Mort was here at the
Mort
Miami...
sent me a tape.
Let me answer one question
I've
at
got
a
a
time.
personal tape that Mort did for me.
Mort
a
knows
tape.
you very well
Yes,
and
he
likes
does.
your work because he was here at Williams
Mort
Island.
loves me.
He heard you on the air, not hurt you, heard you. He heard you when he was here at the Miami Convention Center, and you were supposedly going to be there and be introduced from the stage.
Nobody ever told me that.
He mentioned you from the stage. You were not there.
Nobody told me about
I was
it.
there.
How the hell could I have been there?
Well, someone must have told you were mentioned from the stage.
No. Mm-mm.
It's like a town hall meeting, these public appearances he does. They were not taping his show. It was just...
Nobody invited me to be there.
Well, you were on the stage. I mean, you were mentioned from the stage. You're a star
great.
here.
I am a star here.
Yes.
Did you answer my question when you get me on his show?
Tonight. It's on tonight.
No,
on
when are you
39.
going to get me on his show? Now, when are you going to be on his show?
You don't want to be positioned as trash radio like I was? You know what he introduced me as? Tonight, he will open that microphone and he will say, now here is the, you ready for this? The grandfather of schlock. You want to be known as that?
Hey, listen, if it gets me, if he made $22 million last year, okay?
40.
40 million?
Yeah, well, he reported 22. The rest was cash.
Okay, Mort. Well, it's been nice knowing you, man. You're going to like those nice private rooms they give you. Anyway, so you're going to be on tonight, and they talked about trash radio?
Yeah, and he introduces me as the Schlockmeister, you know, like he's the Sultan of Sleaze. And here I get this
Yeah,
time.
but this is all contrived. I mean, his whole show is contrived. You guys set this up ahead of time, and you love it because
No,
you need
he did not
the
tell me that.
exposure.
He threw me a left turn, but I do need
Did
the
he?
exposure.
He threw you a thing, huh?
And I am the world's most shameless self-promoter. I really am.
But certainly not the king of sleaze.
No, I mean, I'm the, if anything,
Why
I'm
didn't
the,
he have?
I'm the Earl of Shive.
Why didn't he have Howard on that show?
Howard who? Stern. Howard Stern. Well, Howard Stern doesn't do those gangbangs. He refuses to be on a gangbang.
Oh,
And
really?
that's the first lesson in those shows, because you only get your moment. And if it's not a brilliant moment, you die. So therefore, I don't recommend you do that.
By the way, Howard is not good on TV anyway. He's horrendous on TV. He's tried more, like he was going to do that Fox show that never materialized. 100 times he promoted it, and it never materialized. Then he did that videotape that he's made a fortune off of.
Yeah.
It's horrendous. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Awful.
It's too long.
It's
That's
got
why.
a few, you know, it's
Too
got
long.
its moments, but overall it's pathetic. Howard is not a TV person.
As a half-hour special, it would have been fine. I love trash. Don't you like trash?
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, there's good
Howard
trash.
is hysterical on certain days. You know,
There's
if he
good
doesn't do it
trash
every
and bad
day.
trash.
That is correct.
I've heard you say that, and of course we put all of our trash in the plantation bags, or God forbid, garbage doesn't get removed.
Oh, jeez. We have to talk about plantation.
No, let's talk about
Plantation,
Hallandale. I
but,
love the sweet and low routine that you do. I brought that to New York and claimed it as my own material. What was that routine you do about the early bird specials?
Boy, wait till I get on more Downey, man. I'm going to expose you. Anyway, speaking of Hallandale, be sure to join me for a day at the races this Sunday, February 12th at 11:30 at Gulfstream Park, which is in Hallandale.
You still have-
You're right, and the bill is in the mail, Joey. No, seriously, the first day that I got that record, one of our listeners sent me that record. In fact, that's where most of the stuff comes from, is listeners. You'd be like rats in my room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty obscure to be able to go back and find that thing.
You know who steals the most is Robin Williams, though. He'll go to watch young comics in a club, and he'll take the material home with him like it's his own. He's brilliant, but he does it. He's got a terrible
Now, where
habit.
is Tommy Shannon?
Tommy
Is he
Shannon
around?
he looks a little like the bird. He's got no hair, and he's in Buffalo. You know,
Yeah.
with,
He is back in Buffalo?
Third time. He
was
hasn't had
in
enough.
Detroit. He was on CKLW.
He makes a regular run. He's back and forth. He gets a Detroit job, then a Buffalo job. No, it's four times in each market. He's a real good guy. Tommy Shannon was a school teacher who was a disc jockey on weekends and got to be a star. That's in case people are listening, wonder what we're talking about. I know now what determines your show. You got a brother sitting there in a control room with one of those boogie hats on, you know, and a guy he never laughs at nothing. This guy.
No, that's true.
Is that the meter?
If he ever even snickers, man, you know it's got to be an award. It's just
and here he is, this guy, the brother here, he's got a 4-foot cross he's wearing around his neck, this crucifix.
He says if you say something funny, he'll laugh at it.
I noticed when I walked
He's still waiting.
I noticed when I walked in, his cross dropped. Look at that. I mean, this guy's is he a zealot? I mean, is this like a religious experience?
What are you trying to control yourself? This isn't schlock radio.
No,
This
I
is
know,
a
Neil. I'm just
family
wondering.
show.
I was amazed that you have a spiritual advisor on the staff with you. What a luxury. IOD's gone. The
Now we know why
broadcast.
he moved out of that neighborhood, right? Now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of that story.
That's great, man.
So anyway,
Yes.
you're going to be on tonight.
On Morton Downey Jr. show, yeah.
On, now let's see, it's hard to figure out. Is that going to be on all the different stations?
It's on
that
39
carry?
tonight. In
Okay.
Philly, Miami, and Hartford, it's on tonight. But
What
the rest
about
of the
OR?
nation tomorrow.
What about OR?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night?
Yeah.
So if you miss it tonight, you can see it again tomorrow.
On American Cablevision, which is your favorite
Continental
dish.
cable to use, sir.
Yeah, excuse me. Of course, you're Jewish, so you have a set of dishes that are different than the rest of us.
That
right?
is correct.
You got one for dairy?
Milchik and Fleshik. That's correct.
I like that, Neil.
See,
I like your material.
you're
Don't
finally-
start correcting my
you're
material.
Finally beginning,
Joke.
you're finally beginning to understand now, okay? See,
The guy laughed. The brother laughed. Yo, bro, hey.
Goyim don't make it. Joey, Goyim don't make it in this market, okay?
Your Arbitron just went up.
Goyim don't make it here, okay?
No, I know.
Now, if you want to go
trying
back to
hard.
Philadelphia, there are a lot of Italians there, stuff like that. Goyim don't make it here.
Pinto, I'm Spanish, please.
Oh, yeah.
Latino.
Okay, now listen, I understand Radio Mambia's got a big opening coming up, and we can get over there just in time to be on their 2 o'clock news.
Why do I feel like I'm being edged out of here? You're not going
Look
to
at that. You make it. You're not. We got like 22. You want calls?
Yeah.
Well, you think these suckers that are on here now want to talk to you? Let's clear the board.
See what he does? He keeps all the phones on hold so they look busy.
They're all lit by the
You're just making yourself look important again.
No.
But you are a radio star now.
Clear the lines.
Cleared the lines. Now everybody wants to talk to Joey Reynolds.
No, all I want to know is whether this is going to be on Saturday.
No.
It's like
No,
everybody
you
else.
kidding?
Can you imagine the balls of a caller to say, is this going to be on Saturday?
Hey, look at the lines, man.
Man.
Every one of them is lit.
I know.
Every one of them's lit. Should I just punch him up, or you want to screen him?
Well,
we better screen him with him here, you know.
Well, first we want to
probably be a couple of bill collectors, people like that. Better screen those out.
Apologize to all the people that were hung up on.
Yeah, we do
Waiting for a
apologize
lifetime.
profusely to you people because we had some important stuff we were doing, and then Joey muscled his way in here on the show.
I figured
But the
if you
guy's out of work, man. He needs some help.
If you could help Steve Kane, you could help anybody.
Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hi there. You were talking before about the DJs from the 50s and the 60s like Peter Tripp, WMGM.
Yes.
I'm 42, so I was a kid when I was listening to him. Wasn't Scott Muni on the old WMC at that time?
Yeah, well, he was. Then he went to WABC. Yeah.
Shall I do my impression? You want to hear my impression of Scott Muni, sir?
Go ahead.
Scott's over here on WABC in the Silver Dollar Survey, playing the most music, the most times at 77 WABC.
Very good.
Now, if we had a bong, now Rick Sklar would be upset because we don't have a bong to play with at chime time. Yes,
There goes
sir.
my throat.
Neil, what happened to Murray the K?
Oh, let me tell you about him, all right?
Isn't he dead?
Yes, he did die.
Yeah.
Murray the K
He's
had
not feeling too well these days.
Matter of fact, he finally got out of radio.
Yeah.
Murray the K was a guy who had the submarine race watchers. What that was all about was talking to the kids who were parked in cars. And the police would come by to make sure that your heads were up.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, if they saw your heads, they know there was no foul play going on, allegedly, except for those a few times, like, for instance, Neil was involved with some of these lesbian dwarfs who wanted to go up on him. But, you know, parked in this car were these kids listening to Murray the K. And Murray the K said, he told this great story one night. Sir, are you still with me?
Yes, I am.
Sir, do you begin to understand why he's not on the air anymore?
Let me tell this great story. let me tell this great story. He was telling these kids about this girl and this guy who were parked together on the East Side Drive.
Is this going to be something filthy and grotesque?
No. And so the guy turns to the girl. It's a 50s-like joke, you know. And the guy turns to the girl and he says, hey, baby, are you spiritual? And she says, what do you mean? He says, well, do you believe, like, in the hereafter? And she says, well, what's the hereafter? I believe in the hereafter. And she said, well, what is it, though? And he says, well, if you're not hereafter when I'm hereafter, then you're going to be here after I'm gone. That was the Murray the K joke, all right?
Wow.
Sir?
Now we know why he died,
One more question. One more radio personality. I remember that worked with Murray the K when they were on WINS, and then he went to WABC. Bruce Morrow, what happened to him?
Cousin Brucey
Yeah,
to
cousin
you, sir.
You want to hear that impression?
If
Please.
you want to.
Yeah, my cousin Brucey here at 77 WBC. Oh, Scott's Row. It's Scotland Yard coming up here, and then we're going to play the $7 survey. Whoa, hey, here comes now a Castro convertible featuring Neil Rogers. It's folded in the couch. There he is with a Publix bag boy.
What happened to him?
Murray, he's still working. Bruce Morrow's on WCBS. There's an oldie station in New York. Let's not talk New York. Let's talk Florida.
Well, Florida, I'm kind of new to the Florida scene. I just remember something.
Give it a couple of years, sir. You'll learn to hate it like a passion.
I already do. It didn't take a couple of years. It just took a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Well, thank God for this show, right?
Miami's not really a big city. There's a mirror at one end, sir.
Okay, thanks a lot, pal.
Thank you.
You bet. Look at this. We got a full board of Joey calls, right? Lighthouse Point, hello.
Yeah, I was going to ask Joey why he's not on the air anymore, but
they fired my ass.
I figured it out already.
Thank you.
Okay, sir, good call. Oh, you're in for it now, man. Now I know why you didn't come in till late, okay? Tamarack, hello.
Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Who's this?
This is John. Listen, you probably don't remember me, but we worked together one day.
One day?
One day when you were at She.
Joey worked a lot of places one day.
I only worked with him one day. On your, you did a couple 30-second spots.
That's right. That's what Neil was talking about.
Oh, no. What was he saying?
No, what are you talking about? Some commercials I did?
Yeah, at She.
Oh, okay.
At Dania Pier.
I see. All right.
I was one of the guys there.
Well, thanks for calling.
Oh,
okay.
Maybe that's why you're not on She anymore, because of the commercials.
I was never at Dania Pier. I was never there.
Well, somebody impersonating you was there.
Okay.
Probably Danny Neverth or somebody like that.
Neil, I also worked
or
on
Stan
your...
Roberts. What?
I also worked on your spot.
Really?
At Zeta.
Well, you keep off of my spot, okay, pal? Okay, have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Talking about Mort Downey.
This guy really gets around.
I was roommates with him, and he had not paid some guy some debt. So a guy broke into our hotel room. We stayed at the Genesee Hotel in Syracuse, then we got an apartment
in
together.
Syracuse? Boy, now we're talking the big time.
Shop for furniture, too. So we got along real good. We were good buddies. And some guy broke the door down one day. Practically, I had answered the door and the chain was across it, and he got that far and pushed the chain through and knocked a couple of his teeth out. So I was reading the Inquirer last week at the supermarket.
We read this story.
And it says he got his teeth knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
So I called him. I said, what are you, friends with the Tooth Fairy? They happened to you 26 years ago.
Where did we read that from?
Inquirer.
It was in the paper. From the Inquirer.
Yeah. That story made the Inquirer. 3 teeth got knocked out again? What, did he grow new ones?
Anyway,
yes.
Now, when you were in Detroit at XYZ, I don't want to start reminiscing because you obviously are trying to fight back the clock, and I can understand when you get that old.
But it did
By the way, Steve is older than Joey?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
He'll never live that down, man. We discovered that today. I don't think anybody was older than you are.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, when you were in Detroit, the big station...
How about Big Wilson on the wonderful Isle of Dreams?
The big station was Keener 13.
Yeah.
And for my money, that's the greatest AM rock station that's ever been on the air. That was an incredible station with Dick Purton and Bob Green and
Gary
J. Michael
Stevens.
Wilson and Gary Stevens. And, boy, what a station that
Gary was here at Fun.
What a monster of a station that was.
Yeah, and Dick Purton, of course, is still in Detroit.
Tremendous.
He's a great
One of the
talent.
best guys in the business.
Yeah, he's a fan of yours, too. He's another
No,
one.
are you serious?
Yeah.
Dick Purton?
Yeah.
He's my idol in the business.
He called me one day, and he, he's got about 8 kids.
Yeah.
They're all girls, so he's not afraid of you.
They had a great billboard campaign. Well, are you going to listen to me or are you going to continue with these homophobic remarks?
Go ahead.
They had a great billboard campaign in Detroit years ago, and on all the expressways, they had big billboards, and it showed a caricature of Purton with a big sore red thumb, and it said, pick up Dick Purton on the Southfield Expressway, the John Lodge Expressway, depending where you were driving. It was a great billboard campaign.
Well, he's a
Which
guy...
I realize has got nothing to do with anything, but he's
a fan of yours. He called me one day.
guy.
He says, I'm in Florida, and I like this Neil Rogers. Do you know him? And I said, yeah, but he's opposite me. And I said, he's beating the hell out of me, so let's not talk about it, which was the case at the time. Now you're not.
I got to get a hold of him someday on the air. He is a tremendously funny guy.
Call him. He knows very well.
Who's the guy that works with him that does all the voices?
Tom Ryan. Used to be. They're
Tom
separate.
Ryan.
Now they're opposite
Oh,
each other.
really?
Yeah.
Tom Ryan was a funny guy.
Yeah. Do we have to go?
No.
Oh.
Boy, you are... See, he is so insecure, man, which shows you what business...
No, I was thinking of the next record. Where's the record?
When you're in this business, man, you're constantly insecure.
Don't you have to play a tune?
Here's a mobile. Somebody's spending money to talk to you. Hello.
My.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
What?
I think I answered my own question because I was going to ask if he had ever heard that the Neil Headroom thing where you tell the lady you think she's old enough to be Joey Reynolds' mother.
Yeah.
He's already stolen all your material, so he probably stole that. But no.
Oh, now I stole his material. Is that what you think?
No, Joey, I would never say.
If he would have done that, he'd still be on the air.
I was a star when Neil was in diapers. Get off
That
my
is
back.
Joey, you know what?
What?
I was like one of the 4 people that used to listen to you on She.
I had 6, and you're insulting the hell out of me.
I couldn't stand Neil. And, because I never listened to him, and my friends told me, listen to him. So I finally
And you
listened to him,
believed
and
all
he's
that
great.
crap Joey used to say about me. That's the problem.
Neil did a great job.
Neil's great.
Neil beat me, and I don't mind admitting it, and he did a great job. And I don't listen. When you're a championship fighter and you get in the ring with another champ, and the other champ knocks you out, and he's a better fighter, you got to come up and say, hey, listen, the guy did a great job.
Yeah,
I don't mind saying
I
that.
saw a picture of you, Joey, at Hooters. You don't weigh but $105.
No, I'm a good-looking guy. Now you're
Well,
not going to ruin my self-esteem. I'm just going to tell you where I lost the ratings war, but my self-esteem's another story.
But you're in trouble when Michael Jackson outweighs you. That's
And I'm
all.
a great lover, and
Yeah.
I'm not fat, and stop it.
Although
I was at one time. I was about 290.
Joey's face is all in one piece, though, unlike Michael's, so it's not
what we
too
heard.
bad.
Yeah, I lost a lot of weight.
I got to be honest. He looks good. Joey looks good.
You're on that Nutrisystems. Are you really still
Yes,
on
I am.
that thing?
30 pounds.
I hear
31.
talk of it, but I don't hear you doing the spots now.
Yeah, I do every day.
But you got all this food
Thanks
coming
a
in.
lot, pal. I don't want to build
bye.
up your phone bill.
Good day.
Okay.
Neil, that's considerate. That was very nice of you.
Yeah.
Why do you have all this food coming in when you're doing the Nutrisystems?
Grapes.
Well, the grapes
Fruit.
today. I mean, like the grapes of wrath today. But yesterday you had all this Italian stuff coming.
Well, I just nibble, okay? No, I'm doing well. I'm 31 pounds.
Bird is in good shape. You know, the way he talks, you would think that he ate his way through China. I mean,
He
you guys...
can. He's just one of those lucky people like you. You're probably like a pig.
It drives Neil crazy because I can pig out every day, and I'm one of these lucky people in life. My genes, I guess, I don't gain weight. And
Yeah.
it drives him crazy. And
Well, Neil, of course...
I've known a lot of guys like that. Their secret is in their genes.
Well...
But that's another story, and I don't want you touching that line. It's just mine. Dade County, hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, hi. Just called up to say hello, Neil. This is Brian McGarry. I used to work with Joey Reynolds.
Are you serious?
Used to do Joey's news.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say that it's nice to hear Joey's still alive and well.
You're on Love 94 now, aren't you?
Yeah.
You playing that dweeb music?
Yes, Joey, another record. You know, it is the record business.
I know. Radio is in the record business. It's disgusting what they've done, and they've segmented it now, too, so you can have your favorite music, whatever you punch up on the radio today, including that, what's that most awful station? You ask yourself the question, why 100? Is that it? What a terrible
the 12-year-old program directed a 10-year-old morning guy.
God, and that morning team, they look like I sound. Get rid of them. What an awful team that is. And they think they're funny? Do they think they're funny?
Evidently, yeah.
You know what they do on that station? Listen to this now. I'm going to ruin it forever for you to listen to Y100.
Great.
All they ever talk about is themselves. They never talk about the records. They never talk about anything in this community. You could drop that in on a satellite dish from anywhere.
Because they don't know
world.
anything about the community. The guy's been here for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, not them. The whole goddamn the whole station.
The whole goddamn station.
Yeah. I mean,
you hear what he said?
There's nobody there who knows what town they're in, Joey. They don't know. The new morning guy, Bobby Mitchell, he doesn't know what city he's in.
But what do they talk about? All they ever talk about is how they're going to have a birthday.
But how come you were listening to it?
My wife has it on. She does this aerobic dancing.
Tell your wife to get with
cervix.
it, will you? Tell her to turn on Hot 105.
So, Brian, working at Gloves 94, don't take any wood nickels.
So I shan't, and you guys keep up the good work.
Okay, give Greg a big kiss for us, okay? Thanks for calling, Brian. Bye. Okay, 1:49 at WID. We got a little business to do again here. We'll come back with the incredible Joey Reynolds, who's making all of these outrageous comments. So when the people who are transcribing the show as they do every day, it's Joey who's saying all the stuff.
My mother's listening to us right now.
And you're saying that filthy stuff on here with your mom listening?
My mother from Buffalo, poor little
God
thing.
almighty. I mean, my mother lives in Hollywood. I would never say goddamn in her presence.
This is my mother who took my very own little kid sister and put crazy glue on her knees.
Anyway,
she was
really?
in school.
Well, that works too, by the way.
Yeah. I had the nuns.
Toyota of Hollywood is the place if you're in a market. Maybe Joey wants to buy a new car, which would be nice if he ever gets a job, because this is the place. I would show you my Super
10 WIOD.
Burn, baby. 154 at WIOD. It's not very often we get a major celebrity. In fact, every time we get a radio person on the air, it's somebody who's out of work. Stan was on here a few weeks ago.
Somebody who's out of work. I'm not out of work.
Joey.
I'm between pictures.
Well, what are you doing,
Give me a break.
What are you doing? How are you sustaining yourself?
I have money. I'm a rich guy.
Good.
What are you talking about? I performed all the vasectomies on the Med-Flies in L.A.
Gina Mosley.
Hello. In society.
Gina.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. Could I possibly make a request?
Sure.
Okay. I wanted to hear Mark's Hallandale Vice if I could, too.
Oh. You don't want to talk to Joey?
Mm.
Wait a minute. What's your name, ma'am?
I'm sorry?
What's your name?
Gina.
How old are you?
It's Mark Mosley's wife. Don't start putting the moves on Mark's wife.
No move. I was just going to try to get a little profile.
Okay, I'm going to play it right now. Joey will be upset, but it's only a minute, okay?
Okay.
Tell Mark thanks a million.
Okay, thanks.
Bye. You'll give us a minute, won't you?
Oh, I think I'll turn on Neil Rogers. Hold it right there, pal. Don't touch that dial.
Oh, my God. It's Sunny.
It's Hallandale Vice 2. Sunny's Revenge.
Yeah, it looks like we got him. Thanks for the tip, Mrs. Aquacoid.
You're welcome, Sonny. I mean, I knew he was a sicko when I rented him the place. I mean, look at this. He even had this filth he was looking at.
My God. It's the Ted Bundy pictures. Looks like we stopped another future mass murderer Neil scumbag moron.
The streets of Hallandale are safe again, thanks to you, Sonny.
Just doing my job, Mrs. Aquacoy. By the way, I'm going to need your name and phone number. We contact you later.
Let me get you my card. Oops, I dropped my purse.
Say, what's that fell out of your purse?
Oh, that's it. I'm sorry.
And Neil,
Joey
was saying I'm from a different era.
You
no
are
kidding.
from a different era. Although now that I found out that Steve allegedly is older than you are, now you're like
Steve is older. He's 50. He's a couple years older than that. I don't mind my age. I'm having a good time.
No, he showed me his driver's license, but it didn't say which century it was in.
Dick Clark is 60 this year.
He looks great, doesn't he?
No.
He looks like hell?
Yeah, he looks like he's finally paying for that great mirror that... Yeah, well, you know, he had a meeting.
He hung around with Mark Lindsay too long. That did it. Here's a mobile with Joey. Hello.
Hey, Joey.
Yo.
Can you do that thing where you say that Neil's the greatest and he beats you in the ratings?
I said that already. What are you, on delay?
I just got it. Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
Can I steal your car tomorrow?
No.
What? You'll never find it.
Sharon's going to steal. That's what I'm afraid of. Good luck, pal. Oh, by the way, Sharon's going to steal my car, and they're going to put a low jack in it, the Corvette, and then they're going to go trace it down.
You do get a lot of phone calls here.
They're all lit up for you. That's why I told you, why did you come in so damn late? We got like 2 minutes left.
I don't know. What's the format?
EOR, end of the road to you. Miami, hello.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
Hi, Joey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. What's your name?
Huh?
What's your name?
My name is Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Yeah. I talked to you a while back when PV was on, but I was wondering, are you and what's his name, Morton, going to make a radio together, a song together?
We are doing a TV show together, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
He's putting together a pilot for a show called Reynolds After Dark. Rad.
Really?
Yeah. And we were going to do it this spring, or rather this fall, but he got involved with buying a hotel in Atlantic City.
What's it going to be? What kind of a show?
It's like Ernie Kovacs and Steve Allen, that kind of a thing, with bits. I went to Houston 2 weeks ago.
Ernie would be a good guest for you on that show.
Thanks a lot.
It's not feeling
if I'm going to talk to dead people, I'm going to stay home and talk to my mother-in-law.
No, you can stay down here, yeah.
My mother-in-law Jaws, but let's not get into that. Anyway, I was doing some bits in Houston, and I did a couple of interviews, off-the-wall stuff. I did one with Oprah Winfrey. And another one with Vanna White. I accuse Pat Sajak of being a male bimbo, and Vanna is really the way she is. I mean, this is not a put-on. Mm-hmm. And I said to her, I'm not Barbara Walters. I wasn't trying to interrogate her. I was trying to get some fun out of her.
Is this an answer to the lady's question?
Yes. I'm doing a television show that's very bizarre. That's the answer to the question.
Well,
I was trying to explain what happened. I told Vanna, Vanna, is it true some guy broke into your dressing room and tried to spin the letters on your alphabet underwear? And she says, I don't wear underwear.
Oh.
So, it goes into that kind of a place.
That Vanna.
Little twist. Anyway, you still there, man? Did we lose you?
Yeah, I was just going to ask Neil if he still had Morton's record.
You have Morton's record.
Oh, whatever happened to that record? Do you remember that?
Yeah, we don't have it.
What was the name of it? Do you remember?
Something about suicide.
Yeah, that Morbid.
Boy, was that Morbid? Yeah, I bet it's around somewhere, I'll bet.
Yeah,
we left it at Zeta because it fits in over there now.
Well,
watch the show tonight. I lick his warts.
Yeah, well, I figured if you played them both at the same time,
yeah,
I was wondering what you'd come out.
Probably do something. Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
Bye. You licked his warts?
He doesn't have them anymore.
I call him Wart Downey. He got them taken off finally.
Yeah, you were the
when
first
you make
person
40
to do that.
million, when you make 40 million. Well, after we sent him all those, what's that stuff that takes the warts off that we had? No, seriously, we were having people send him Compound W, and I think he got the hint. Either that or it worked.
22 million.
Anyway, that's it. Joey, have a wonderful time, a great life. We'll be watching tonight. What time is it on?
Can I come back?
You can come back any time.
I got more to say.
As long as it doesn't cost us anything, you can come back all the time. What time is it on?
10 o'clock.
Channel 39, 10 o'clock. I'm going to watch that tonight.
Fringe TV, right?
I'll have to have Knots Landing on another set, though. Oh, that's going to be delayed, right? So we can watch Joey on with more, then we can watch Knots Landing a little later. Right?
I love you. I'm just sorry that you beat me in the ratings, Neil. I'd have a good job. I was making good money.
I'm not. Well, listen, you asked for it and you got it. Good luck, Joey. Thanks for coming by. That's it for today. Stay tuned for Steve and pornography and Ted Bundy and Sue the Censor and all those people. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 on 610 WIOD.